Hello everyone, how are we doing this evening? Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Happy Sunday everybody. Yeah, weird day, isn't it, to be running a stream like this on, but it's the best we could do. It actually works out pretty well. Works out pretty well. So yeah, welcome along everybody. Joining me today, I have in the chat with me is Hummel of War. And Talon is here as well. I'm also joined by Johnny, who's probably yeah, there he is. Well done. Johnny is going to be taking sort of questions from the chat while we go through Alpha 12 stuff, basically, and show you guys all the new features and whatnot. So I'm very sorry on the offset. I'm not going to be able to keep up with chat myself while I'm talking to Hummel and Talon and going through the game and stuff like that. But what you're going to see today is Alpha 12. Okay, this is the latest build of Alpha 12, currently in closed alpha, so you can't get it just yet. It's just been updated, so got all the sort of latest toys and gizmos and excellent stuff to show you guys. And then we're going to talk to Hummel and Talon about stuff that's not quite in the build yet, that may be coming in Alpha 12, and then also going into Alpha 13 and beyond, where we'll see Crouch first added to the game. Isn't that right, Hummel? Sure, there you go, see? Confirmed, Crouch in Alpha 13. Right. So there's a number of things. There's a number of things in Alpha 12. You know that, yeah. There's a number of things in Alpha 12 that we want to show you today. Hummel, do you want to give us a kind of bullet point tour list of what we're going to go through today?
Next few days this week.
Nice.
So no label is assumed as always, but yeah. So today, I think we've uploaded updated multiplayer scenario. So for those that use the Invader versus Defender, so this has no iteration called Cygnus Conflict, and we'll get into this a bit, and we'll take the chance to show a few things like the overall the galaxy, how to move in the galaxy, how it looks like currently. We will have to show how to manage your stuff in New Galaxy, because we'll have a lot of new PUIs, or in numbers basically, and we'll show a way how to better manage all that stuff. We'll basically show the new interactive dialogue system. I might explain how the key token generation works, maybe that's a bit later. And yes, and let's see what we run into still or as well. So with also a little reveal to do today, and I will show later in the scenario.
Okay, brilliant. So we've got a closed alpha test server up and running that we can join.
Yes.
Yes. Talon, could you DM me the password for that one? Sorry, I don't remember where it is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Sorry. Prepared as always.
Absolutely. We're handling this professional.
Absolutely. Brilliant stuff.
To the chat, if you can just at me with any questions that you have during the presentation by the team, and then I'll capture that for the Q&A after.
You want to pop your name in the chat there, Johnny, so everybody knows who to at?
I have already.
Oh, he's out of it already. Somebody who is prepared.
Some of us are prepared.
Audio is low for everyone apart from myself. Right, sorry about that. This is going to be a bit of a trial and error thing. So yeah, do let me know if the audio for whatever is up, down, left, right, wrong, bad, good. Just let me know and I'll try and capture it. Johnny, obviously, if they're screaming out that they can't hear people, let me know as well if I'm missing it.
Yeah, we'll do.
Thank you very much. Okay. Right. Let me just fortunately that password doesn't work. It's probably a good idea that it doesn't work as well, because it pastes it in plain text. So let me just Let me just change my scene real quick. Is that the right password, Taylor?
Yeah.
You sure? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody saw that anyway.
Double check.
I've got my charity overlay switched on still.
No, just the correct one.
Okay, fine. You might want to change that.
No, we can always try.
I don't want to change that.
No one can join it anyway.
That's true. Actually, they can't get
client.
the build. They can't get the build, can they?
Indeed.
Right. Fine. We are connected. It's good. It's good. Right. So should I start out Atlon? Where are you guys?
Yeah.
Atlon. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Oh, it's been so long since I've come down in the old escape pod. Haven't been in the escape pod for a while. This is going to be great. Brilliant stuff. So, has the start of the game changed at all in any way, or is that pretty much the same?
Or slight change. So, as I said, the new scenario here is a bit reworked, and we try to add in all the new stuff, so the technical stuff, as a Galaxy, the dialogue system, and so on. So, for the default random scenario, we are currently reworking the tutorial. I've worked on this the last week or so, or last weeks, better to say, and make it a bit more convenient and stuff. And so it's not a total change. We added the starting area, or we changed the starting area of the default random a bit, but it's more details. We're much more inclined with all the technical stuff and so on. So
right,
at least for the Alpha 12 initial release, this will be updated, not reworked, but updated.
So this is Invader versus Defender scenario.
Yes, this is Invader versus Defender, the multiplayer scenario, and in its new version, the Cygnus conflict, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, and we chose this because there's quite some things to show which are new to the world or to the game as well.
Yeah.
So, and as you said here, maybe we can already, if you look in this room, there are two things that are, one is new and one is not that new. But the new thing is when you look to your right or to your left, whatever send you see a marker about on top of the console.
Yeah. We got a bouncing little cone.
This is indicates that you have a device, or we have the same for NPCs, which has a dialogue. So you can press F, and then you get the dialogue. And this is just updated lately with some new features. So if you just try F, and then you see text rolling in, and this is of course fully customizable. It's quite quite powerful, because via this dialogue system you can basically create little missions or quests or so. So in addition to the PDA system, which usually handle all the mission and story stuff and what we do, we now have the dialogue system, and these both work in conjunction. So it's become a lot more powerful what you can do with this. So
right, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe it's hard to explain how all this works, because the output here is quite what you see, the story and the info ticking down, and you can also have several options what you can do and what you can skip and stuff. So I'd say it's awesome what we have created here, because it gives you a lot of possibilities.
Well, if you may say so yourself, of course. Yes. No, that sounds exciting. It sounds great that we're going to have a lot of potential, I think, for the look of it. I like it. Yeah, nice. Okay. One of the questions I think that everybody's going to be burning to know the answer to at the moment is, when can they get their hands on it? I think now that most of the people have joined the stream, we could probably answer that question, if you have an answer for that question.
The experimental? Probably early next week. So maybe not Monday. It's a good guess, maybe Tuesday. So, but I cannot say this for sure at the moment, because we worked through the weekend, and there are a few things that should be fixed, a few issues that we found as of today, and I'm not sure if it will be tomorrow or so. yeah, don't cite me on that, but or quote me on that. But maybe Tuesday. So it's around the corner, basically.
Basically, this week. This week. So it's either Tuesday, Wednesday, or something around there.
If it's Friday, I hope this is excusable. But then in this case, we have found something that needs to be fixed. But yeah, it currently does not look like it would be.
Okay. So teleport would take you upstairs.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, this is a bit of a setup that to guide players through this, so that you get all your stuff. You'll see you are directly spawned in front of the green painted.
So you can't really get can't really get that wrong, can
obvious. You? Then you go to the armor locker, which are painted in nice purple.
I can guarantee you some people will still ask, where do I get my stuff from?
Yeah.
Maybe you can make it as obvious as you like, but yeah, you can't escape the fail. Right.
Yeah, not really.
Okay, I've got light armor.
Okay, so you get your stuff here, and in this room there's nothing new. So maybe I'll demonstrate what with the teleporter for those who did not read our latest dev blog. This is currently a teleport which is fixed. So you do not have, when you press F, you directly teleport it to the exit location. And,
I just tried to use the sort features. It didn't work. It's giving me a cock.
Go out of the suit locker.
Yeah. Well, I'm not in the suit locker anymore. I'm just in my inventory. But I did do it. That was it. Because I first tried it in the suit locker, and then I'm now doing it in my inventory, and it's still giving me the error.
Oh, then
so
you broke.
I broke it. Testing, everybody. Testing.
Yes. This does something with the inventory sorting. So we started, with only one option, and then found out, there are a lot more options that we can give, and like sorting by food type and stuff. And we hope this is coming handy for everyone who is trying to get his inventory sorted.
Well, this is good. This gets you right into the action, doesn't it? Oh, I fell down.
Yes, this is the first step of this to frighten the drone, but you got the weapons for it, so it's an easy one.
I fell down the big thingy in the outside the thing, and then now I'm stuck in the thing. Oh no, there's an elevator.
Yeah, you should be able to come out at any position.
Good drones.
Trying to use the jetpack. You were there.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Nice.
Okay. You should have a detector.
I do.
I do. Maybe move it to the toolbar.
The toolbar? Really?
Toolbar.
Yeah.
Really,
okay.
Really, yes.
Ooh!
This is a change.
No way.
Which we added, I think, 2 weeks ago or so. You all know we had this passive detector system. It's still
cool.
active. So if you look at Spanj's radar, you have still the indicators where to go. But now it's a bit different. So you can actively scan for something. So
excellent.
It makes a little nice ping. I'm not sure it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody hear
and
that?
Then you get, and if you look in a direction, you see a lot of stuff. Like Talent Court, Bazaar, Outpost, and so on. And some things like resource, not sure, yes, the resources are in brackets, so they are not yet discovered. They just say, there's a resource. And if it would be a POI, there would be only a question mark. And then you can go closer
and it will reveal
again, and it will reveal, yes. What you do is, this ping is basically the scanning element. So it has a range, the hand scanner has a range of, I think, 1,250 meters or so. Yeah. And it has a detection rate. So you scan something and you see on your screen, there's stuff. And then you go closer, and at, I think it's 300 meters or so, when you point at this discovered stuff, it will reveal, and then you get the message you have discovered whatever.
The iron, so we just discovered the iron deposit. We get within 300 meters of whatever it is, scan again, and then it tells us what it is.
Exactly. Yeah, and same
That's
works
pretty
for
cool.
the POIs and other stuff. And this time, this works in space as well. So, and we have this
Chat's
for...
gonna explode.
Wait. So back up. We've got detectors in space.
Yes, for SVs, HVs, or on planet, of course, and capsule vessels, and they all have different range. Like I think HV on planet is 2,500 or so, or 3,000, and CVs in space is 24,000 or so meters. So this is the initial balancing value. So might get up or down, or so. This is basically up to the feedback we get from the experimental version. And there it works the same for if you're in a vessel. You need to add this detector to your vessel.
Right.
And
Okay.
It's maybe we can, if you want, you can demonstrate it because
Yeah.
it should be in already.
Taylor, let's pop a CV in, man. Let's go.
Or a smaller craft, you can. We have it on any craft.
So, okay, so it works the same on SV, CV.
Yes, basically it works. It's more like a weapon. So maybe to explain it, if you have a vessel and you add the detector device to it, which is for all vessels like one block in size. So for SV and HV, it's one block, and for the CV, it's also one block in the large grid, of course. And then you go to your pilot seat, and you will see the detector in your pilot tool.
There it is.
Much like you would fire a weapon, you use the detector. So it's easy as that.
Oh, I'm not sure I can get into orbit at 3% power.
Oh, okay. I have to explain something as well, because we made a change, I think, 2 or 3 days ago. And you all know if you have a ship or a structure or so, and you basically only need one generator, because running in overload modus does not do anything. And now, if you are in the red zone, it will damage your generator. So better look in your statistics page or in your control panel if you're generating enough power for what you need, because it will just explode, and this makes things even worse then. So this is a experimental feature addition. We are looking forward to your feedback.
So hang on, right back. I didn't quite understand that one. So with the generators you're talking about, yeah?
Yes.
So if you're over 100% generator usage in the red zone, you start taking damage.
It's like taking damage, and when you stay for like a minute or so, or faster, then your generator will be destroyed and explode. And maybe to explain it, it's not. We had 2 choices, so we choose to take one generator after the other. So we do not deal damage to all generators of your ship or vessel or structure, but only to one. One is damaged and destroyed, and then is the next. So it's a bit sequential, and so it gives you more chances to react.
Right. Okay. Well.
And there's also a message where you should be notified.
Just test the ships. Make sure the generators don't explode. That's really cool, though. There was always a need. I think the base did call for reinforcements. Will arrive in 3 minutes. I just arrived. What the hell? I'm not even shooting.
This is a new space base defense feature. So currently in I also did the minefield is new. So then
I'm under attack.
Mines.
Okay.
So let me explain that. Because this is also something that is new. Currently, when you are in space, so you attack the POI, and literally you are against the POI and no help. So and now we change it to where that if you are on an enemy state or unfriendly state or hostile, the POI will call for help. So you attack it, and they will call for help. And given where you are at, so basically what the level of the playfield is, and so on, they will call ship reinforcements, and they'll try to defend the POI.
Yeah.
Basically, like on the planet, we have the troop transporter also that will come. Also in space, you have the the voxel ships. And these are not drones, or drones can
No, it's a proper capital vessel.
Yes, these are proper capital vessels. So if this would be a POI in a level 1 environment, there could be also only drones or so. So there's a new AI manager behind all this, because we need to redevelop this a bit. And so the AI manager says, okay, this guy is attacking this POI, and I'll give you a certain budget for this POI. And then
a budget.
A point budget or so.
Yeah.
And I'm putting this that way because this is a feature the players or the creators can also, of course, customize in the faction welfare config, and they can set up their own ships and stuff, what they want to send against the player, and set their budget and whatever. And this works for, I think, the Polaris, the Cyrex, and the Lexi. And it should also work for the other factions then.
Amazing. I just got attacked by a Kelland class cruiser.
Yes.
Just for approaching the minefield.
Yeah.
So not even attacking, just approaching.
Yes, it's
wow.
Currently it's approaching. I think it's 1,000 or 1,200 meters or so.
Yeah.
So when you go into this area, then they will call for reinforcements. And maybe one thing to note is that it might happen that they call for reinforcement and nothing happens. So this is a chance as well that you are disturbed, because those base is not important to their owners. They don't send anything in. So in this case, of course, you do not get a message that something's coming for you, just nothing happens. And for those that are creating scenarios and stuff, you can exclude a POI or so from this base-based defense. And not only exclude, you can also say this POI will always have reinforcements. You can set this up as well. So the value is between 0 and 1 then.
Right, I'm looking at a space snail now.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, this is the legacy. This is the new faction.
It's not new.
Well, not new, but yeah, you know what I mean.
The Legendary now got its own vessels. I'm not sure this works already, but you can.
This thing looks sick.
Yeah.
Look at
Space snails.
Space snails.
Ammonites, I think, is the correct word. Exactly. So for these, they will work all the same.
Nice.
They do not shoot, because maybe you can get closer. You see the new turrets, because the Legendary got new turrets, and they will be quite devastating because they're very strong. But the model is not yet attached to the weapon.
These are these little silver dome things that I'm seeing on the little.
Yeah, it's a small turret with laser, and it's maybe in terms of strength, it's maybe tier 2 or tier 3 compared to the laser turrets for the player. So,
Who built these? Who built these ships for you? These are incredible.
Vermilion built these.
Vermilion, yeah.
Yes.
Guy is talent.
He also
Very nice.
built the other, the Polaris and the Fleet. I've posted some of these in the forums already. I'm a bit behind schedule with all the new stuff, so I will post this to the lore and story forums as well. So currently it's only shooting practice, because they do not counter your attack.
They don't shoot back at the moment, but when they do, oh boy,
you should better be prepared. So so these ships ought to be strong. So it's intentional that they will be strong. And we also think of the possibility that if you manage to disable one of these and you can get hands on the turrets, you can use it on your own. So at least it's a possibility. So it will be costly in terms of energy and also CPU and stuff. But we think not only these turrets, but also the other turrets from POIs as well, that we will allow to use this for the players. So players could use them if they manage to get hands on this, or deconstruct them in an intact state. This is not yet done, but we plan to do this. Because on the other hand, I think it's also changed with Alpha 12. You now can use player turrets on POIs of alien, or even on the ships, without having to cheat in ammo or so. This is now a property of the, I'd say, of the faction. So if it's an NPC faction, they can use any turret and weapon now. So you're not anymore limited what you put on your vessels. So if you have a human faction, for example, and you want to give them player turrets, you can.
Okay, that's gonna, up the difficulty somewhat for some POIs. And that's good though, because most of the time, once you get to a certain level in the game, nothing really is a challenge anymore. So having player turrets on ships and bases and things like that is opening the door for having some real tough end game enemies that's going to stretch your building abilities and stuff like that. So that's really good.
It allows a bit more to scale a bit more. Although the current POI turrets, like the lasers and the iron turrets, might get a buff as well. So because there's sometimes
To go back to the alien turrets you were just talking about, just so these don't run on ammunition.
They do basically, because we currently maybe I'm not sure how we will do this, because it's an open question. So for players, they will run on ammo, maybe a new type of ammo or so. We do not have a system like a lot of you guys propose to say that if it's an energy weapon, it drains the energy you produce. This would be, of course, nice to have maybe in the future iteration, but currently we are sticking to this turret ammo system for now.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be, personally, in my opinion, I think it would be pretty cool if you capture intact alien turrets and you strap them to your base, that they fire using more power, using lots of CPU maybe, but no ammo. I think that'd be pretty cool. But it'll be interesting to see what you guys come up with as regards to an ammo system for that. Whether it uses the pentaxid, now that you can have so much more pentaxid in the tanks, or just more power. I don't know. We'll see what you come up with.
This will be a change of the whole weapon system. Maybe we'll come to this. This is always a topic that the whole weapon system needs a bit of an overhaul, because it's quite not outdated, I'd say, but it has a lot more potential as it is currently showing. So this would be, I think, a topic in for the future, yes. And then maybe we'll also talk about new weapon systems and stuff like this.
Okay, I'm just in the galaxy map, losing my mind right now.
Yeah. Okay, we're currently in. This is the original Invader vs Defender scenario does not have this galaxy map. We cheated this in a bit to show you guys this, because the galaxy itself can consist of two parts. You can, as a builder, you can create a static universe like this, like with 5 suns or so, and you can add in the galaxy to fill in the voids. So basically, like we have shown in this case, the play fields are these 5 stars, so and where the story and stuff happens. But in this case, there's a galaxy created around the.
Because we can go to Saturn.
You can go to every sun in this. So this is not deco. So this is not like a skybox. So this is galaxy created like you would in a random game.
Right. Okay. Well, there's plenty of places to go. Wow, and that's so we're in the Nael system, which has the 5 planets, and then
the center of the galaxy where we're Okay. Yes, and then you see this blue marker. This is where we're at.
Yeah, blue marker is where you're at.
Yeah, and the yellow marker is then where you want to go also.
Yeah. So if I lock Elo system, I get my yellow and my blue. Yeah. And I already waypointed. Let me unlock this. You can waypoint these systems. I'm still getting used to the. There you go. Hold left and you can rotate the camera and stuff. Zoom in and out, mouse wheel. So I've waypointed, but I can't see it now. Oh, there it is. No, it's come back. Yeah.
And maybe in this mass of stars, the markers are a bit hard to see. This is also a topic of feedback. We reduce the size of the markers a bit so they are not shine too large. Yeah. Because these are not the only markers you can now see on the screen. because currently, so on this level, you would see only the markers you are going for warp and so.
Right.
And currently, maybe if you use the registry, maybe I can tell something extra. Yeah, this galaxy map info is not up to date. This is something to do. So we're giving a bit of help, but the controls are basically the same.
Right. So the registry.
You've got and
yeah, I think I'm in there.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's a bit delayed. I'm watching you on a second screen, so it's a little delay. Yes, and here you see the new the journey book or whatever you call it. First, we started out to update it for the Galaxy because we had no systems and stuff. And now it has grown a bit into, like I said, like a journey book or a management system or a real legacy, because it's picking up anything or everything you have discovered, like outpost, destroyed facility, even deposits and stuff. And it also shows your bookmarks, and it's really a registry now.
That's much better filters,
Yeah, a lot of added filters. Maybe there will be also more filters there, and so you can manage this. And
so, what are waypoints? And because at the moment I can reset waypoints. Are waypoints these?
Waypoints, okay. Waypoints are the markers basically. So if you are on a planet, or if you're in space. You have a marker on a planet, maybe we could show this quickly. If you have a marker on planet, okay, set a waypoint, and then you should be able to see your marker from wherever you are. So this is quite also a big change. So we often got asked, can I show a marker from my base down on the planet when I'm in space? And yes, now you can. And it's even better because if you have set a marker maybe 2 systems away or so, or 1 warp jump away in a different system, you can choose to see this marker as well.
Right. Yes. So I can set a marker on planet for where my base is and see that marker in space, which means you're no longer guessing when you're entering the planet's atmosphere where you've got to come down in order to try and find your base again. That's pretty cool.
And not even in one sector, I'd say, so in space and then on planet or so. But as I said, when you say set a waypoint, it's visible throughout the galaxy to whatever you are or wherever you are. And this has one reason because, so let's say you're on the planet and you want to go to a different system, and you look on the galaxy map and you're not quite sure where to go. So you go to the registry and you set a waypoint, and then you simply fly towards it, and you can go to space, and as soon as you are in space and you are facing the bookmark, it will turn into a warp icon, and then you can directly warp. You do not need to manually lock a target anymore. And then given what in my example, you should drop out in the sun of the system, and there you still see the marker who leads you to the next step base. So it's like a mini navigation or mini route system. It currently only works for 1 system jump, so from one sun to the other, but I think this will then improve.
Okay, so I'm just showing now the planetary waypoint. So I've just come in from space directly above you. I'm basically just going to crash my ship into your face.
That's okay. I can see you already.
Yeah. Bump.
Okay.
Right. So that's spot on. You can, because one of the things that I found quite time consuming was coming back to my planet and trying to figure out, and I always managed to try and figure out from the terrain, because the planet's quite detailed now from orbit, from the terrain where my base was, so being able to use a waypoint for that is amazing. Let's see if we can figure out what you just explained though, which was to set a warp point from on a planet. So if I set a waypoint to Bondoin, which is a planet nearby. Bondoin orbit, right? I can now see Bondoin orbit from here. 12.7 AU.
Yes.
Is
So
this
it's in the same system.
is this ship warp capable?
You need to slap
Nope.
on a warp drive.
You just slap on a warp drive. That'll help the aerodynamics.
Of course.
Talon can give me GM. Oh, it's so pretty.
This is perfectly placed.
Perfectly placed, as intended.
Aerodynamic is, I think this will still fly.
Elion approved.
You also need a Pentax attack.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Where's the ideal place? Put it on the end of the wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't get shot off at all.
No, this will not get shot off. No one will target this. Yep, it looks nice.
Looks nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why hide such a beautiful model?
Yes. Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, pentaxid, ready. So, can I warp from within atmosphere? I assume not. I have to go into orbit, yeah?
You need to go. You go. Yeah. It's a step approach, I'd say. So.
So I can point my ship towards Bondoin. As soon as I get into orbit, I can warp directly to it, yeah? I don't need to lock the thing or anything like that. Right, so I'm pointing at the waypoint. We are...
The marker should also change.
Change, it has done, yeah. And now I just... Yep. Perfect. There you go. Very nice. That's gonna make fast responses, like for factions and stuff.
And this does not only work in a system, but also between different systems. And you could basically set a marker further away, but this mini routing currently only brings it to the next system. So we will improve that in an intelligent way. So you can go over different systems or different suns, because when you play a while and then you are basically on the other side of the galaxy and you want to go back to your home base, it might be difficult to plot the course star by star, and I think there should be a solution for this. And this may be some kind of the first iteration of a navigation system.
So back in the registry, I can set back to my waypoint for you, Hummel. Set that as a waypoint, I guess.
Yes, sure.
Turn the ship around. Could have chosen a better performing ship there, Tane. Right.
You need to manage your stuff. What you showed in this, where there's a button to reset all waypoints, because when you set several, you might get rid of those that you do not need anymore.
Right. So now it's telling me no warp waypoint set. So is it because I set a planetary waypoint rather than an orbital one?
Look at the map, please. I think the Invader Defender scenario has these directions still, where you cannot go in one direction.
Well, I can't tell because I'm in warp planes.
You need to activate. You can activate the show the warp lines.
The warp lines,
They are disabled by default currently.
No, I don't see any arrows. Oh yes, yeah, no, there is Alton. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at Cantir. Yes.
Yeah. So of course, if you cannot warp directly to my position, it will say you cannot warp. Maybe we need to add a different
message.
Infobox, but currently it's blocked because you are on a directional.
So actually, I can't walk back to you at all because both of the routes out of there are one way because it's Star Planet. Say this is a multiplayer scenario, so there's made sure that you are safe on this, so you could not be overwhelmed by players who have advanced in this scenario. So it's a bit safe, and so you can only go away from Athlon and not back to it. So that makes perfect sense. Did the same on my server. Safe new players starting areas.
Yes. So with all the changes on the Galaxy in the system, you still can use this directed and permissions and so on. You cannot use this on the Galaxy level, so you cannot prevent that 2 stars cannot be reached, because we showed this is not necessary on this level, but you still cannot do on the scenario in the system level. Yes.
So just a quick reminder, everybody, I think most of the people have got the idea now, but if you have a question that you want to put to Elion, put to Hummel or Talon, just tag in Johnny into the chat. I think his username is Johnny J Appleseed, just to make it nice and easy. And then Johnny is very kindly collating the questions for us. We'll go through Q&A a bit later on, once we've gone through and sort of shown everything and spoken about everything we want to talk about today. Right. So the scanner, that's nice. Navigation, very nice.
It now should help for the space.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And finding stuff, yes.
And is there more coming to space in Alpha 12, or are we looking a little bit further along for things like pirate attacks and anomalies and stuff?
So for Alpha 12, this is for space. This is the space-based defense system.
Yep.
And we also plan to add something like ambushes or so. This is has been a bit delayed because we found out we need to redo the AI management for space. And there's two guys in our team are working on something very interesting to give the AI more abilities to recognize the player and what he does. So, and this will then end into or go towards a system where the AI can decide to ambush you and stuff. But that's not currently ready for the Alpha 12, I think.
Right, okay. That's fair enough. But yeah, that would be awesome. Space is, well, I mean, space is naturally very dead anyway. So, but yeah, I think it would be awesome with a little bit of excitement injected in there.
Of course, we're adding new POIs and stuff, and I've also looking into the forums and what people want to see. And currently, we added the new factions for now. Like we now have factions. The Creel from Tyrannel. We have pirates. We have traders. We added the humans, so the UCA, the United Council of Humanity, as a standard faction you are always friendly with. So maybe you should be able to see this in the galaxy map already.
I broke it.
Yeah, of course you did.
I broke it already. Sorry. What can I see in the galaxy map?
Okay. What you should be able to see, there's a toggle territories on the left side.
Yep. Everything turns to... Oh, yeah. No, I see the territories. Yeah. So we've got...
Maybe zoom a bit more out. Use Control, Shift, and S and move a bit away from these bubbles. And you can see the zones we've already set.
God, that was so many planets.
Maybe explanation. The gray markers are systems that do not have any faction territory, and the others are colored in their respective faction color there. So
Polaris is the orange.
Yes, Polaris is now orange.
Pink is Legacy.
Yeah. The green are a bit darker pink, and the traders are a bit like a yellowish tone. Yeah. And all of these can now have own territories in space.
Oh wow, yeah, they're Creel. I see them now. Yeah. Xerax. Polaris. Who is these? Are these traders or are these
traders?
I can't quite make that color out. I assume that's trader.
Yeah, there's a bit of a challenge to pick the right colors that they are still distinguishable in space. The yellow ones, I think this are the pirates, and this bluish one are the traders now.
Yeah.
Yes, right. I had this different before, so confused this.
Okay.
So it's a trade. The traders will also currently all the trading stations are Polaris, and all the trading stations will become property of the Traders Guild, because the Traders Guild is like the UCH is a faction you cannot get on a different standing. So you're always friendly, and this has a little bit of a reason with the teleporting and the revive system, because for the teleporters, when you discover a POI from an NPC faction, which has a teleporter, and this teleporter is not locked, but a part of the public transport, basically, then you can use their teleporters. But you need to be friendly and or honored. And if you're not at this stage, you might discover this POI, but you cannot use their stuff. And there's a bit similar to the respawn system. We have kind of a fail-safe for this. So if you are close to a POI which has a med bay or clone bay or so, and you're friendly with the faction, you can respawn there as well. And there are a few more options added already, which would accomplish similar things. So you're running less into dead ends or so.
Right. Okay.
So, for example, survival tent is now also a respawn point.
Yes, we need to get. Have we got one on us? No, we haven't got one. I have completely and utterly screwed myself. I've locked myself in prison. I got myself into a Xerax prison voluntarily. And I was glitched into the floor because I got out of the ship in a funny angle and it put me underneath the POI. But now I've come up into the POI to get a loot container, and I thought this shutter door would open, but it doesn't. And I can't damage any of these things with my guns.
You can get out of it. Type equipment.
Oh, you've given me GM! Yay!
Yay!
Hi guys! Oh, there's a lot of them.
Currently, as I see the question, will we be able to possibly buy mining outputs from a faction? Not in Alpha 12. We think we have few ideas what to do with the factions or what you can do with factions. So this might be maybe Alpha 13 topic or so. This is the structure.
We're all very familiar with the Xerax and how they roll and how they die. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get out of it. So, can I give myself a tent?
Sure.
I mean, if you're going to use God mode for anything, you know, a tent. It's where it's at, right? Okay. So the tent now acts as, what did you say? It's a spawn zone. It's a spawn point. So let's. So I placed a tent just outside of the Xerax territory. I'm now going to throw my life away.
A sacrifice.
A sacrifice. Okay. Hi, Japs. Can we talk? Can we maybe make up? I mean, this guy's interested in talking. He wants to negotiate. He's seen me slay his brethren, and now he's all like, "Yeah, it's chill."
It's good.
It's good. Ah, my face! And there we go. So I should be able to now respawn at the tent.
Yeah, you should be able to see in the respawn menu. There should be a new point which should show you the respawn at your closest tent.
So survival tent, yeah. And then the other options are still the same.
Yes.
So current location. Are you going to be getting rid of current location, or is that always going to be there?
I think it will stay there for a while.
Okay.
As a last,
Last resort. I know, because otherwise you could probably get stuck, can't you?
We thought about getting rid of it, but we're not entirely sure, to be honest. We made two changes. One is adding the survival tent, and second is that you can respawn basically everywhere where is your own your own stuff, your base. So you maybe know that you currently have this home button, and you can set a capital vessel and a base as your home spawn. And this is one part, but when you die and you have a vessel in close, like it's an HV or so, which equipped with a med bay or a station with a med bay or clone bay, even if you not tick the home button thing, you should be able to respawn there as well. So the home base is a very specific way to where you want to go, and the rest is more a global, what's closest to me.
So if I spawn in something, you know, nice and respectable. Nothing too OP. Give myself a few bits and bobs. I want to show you. I want to show everybody that this works in CVs as well. So, open a CV, fill her up with some gas. Yeah. No, okay, fine.
Does it have
The fill-all's not working for Pentaxid. Let's get into orbit. So obviously we did the detector-y thing with the SV last time, so we just want to see what it looks like on a CV. Just quickly. Yes, stack size increase as well. Yeah, so
yes,
everything. No more 999.
Yeah, you can. We have increased the stack size in general. So Spanj currently pulled this from the item menu, but in the game you can now stack those smaller items up to 4,000. So stacking size has increased in general a lot.
Yeah, because I think I've got 3,895 fusion cells in a single stack. Oh, hang on. Yeah, can I... What? I thought I had the gravity generator on this thing.
Details.
Details. I can't seem to reset. I'm still in God mode.
Maybe we need...
there we go.
Yeah. Good chat back.
Ah, it's radioactive in this place. Why? I thought, right, okay, so I pressed O. That's aligned me with the playfield. Yeah, in God mode, I'm all upside down.
Yeah.
Is that new? Different? What's going on?
Oh, this is not still the same as always.
Well, no, because if I set my ship to align with the playfield by pressing O, it should be on the same alignment as God mode.
Maybe you are aligned now to the galaxy.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Oh, right, okay, well. Is that going to be a thing for creative mode?
Oh, possibly. Not sure.
Oh, that's
but
not good.
Without God mode, you usually do not play in God mode in the standard.
No, true.
Yeah. So these are, if you run into these issues, they are always a bit further down in the list, because if you ask, do you usually play this way in survival, and then you say no, and then it's getting a bit pushback then.
Yeah, my concern mostly is for creative mode with that. Because if we have to build ships on a wonk, then that's going to be really difficult. We cannot have wonky ships. Right, let me put my detector. There we go. That's what the new CV detector looks like. That's pretty sweet. It's like a little radar dome. A bit like the SV one, but bigger.
Yes.
Okay.
It's also a bit powerful. We considered it. We did not want to make it bigger because we first thought you only may have this radar deco.
Wow.
But this would, I think, be too big, and then we said, let's make it one block size. I think this is okay.
What is the range on this thing?
24,000 meters, I think.
24 kilometers.
Yeah, 24 kilometers.
Oh yeah.
But you need to say currently the POI is all quite close to the planet. But we think of when we maybe further down toward the end of the experimental, maybe we will spread out this a bit more, because now we have quite a big range and we do not need to put everything in this close quarters. And so this has not been changed yet.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why you detect
everything. Yeah, but
because the space is about 100 kilometers now since I think a few versions.
Let me give myself some ammo. 1 second. 4,000. Alright. Oh, the fill all doesn't work on that one either. Right, fine.
So, and if you had a teleporter on your CV and you had a station in this zone which is friendly to you and you discovered, you could basically teleport from your ship to the station and back.
Wow, I'll try that in a second.
Given your ship does not move.
Yeah. So how is it going with the whole moving on a moving ship, walking around on a moving ship?
Currently, this has been pushed further down the priorities because this is. I'm not sure if this is currently doable in a way that it's still performing well.
Yeah.
And until we find a real good solution, because this will consume a full major update. Because there's so much to do with other colliders. So if you could see this, what we are looking at in the editor, you would see colliders everywhere, and this is what makes the issues with walking on a moving ship. And if this is not solved, this feature is not really doable currently.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So Alpha 13, yeah. Cool. So this is the new ship-based teleporter, and you can't use it with shields on. I just had to turn shields on because I think the
you cannot place it with shields on, and you cannot use it with shields on.
It makes sense. You have to lower shields in Star Trek to beam up, don't you? Right. We're about to get some company, I think. 60 seconds. Then I'll go and place a base down on the planet, and we'll see how that works. Stu, like Crouches 13 as well, yeah.
As explanation, the ship, the capital vessel teleporters have a range of in the sector, so you can go from planet to orbit and so on.
Yeah.
And the station teleporters for your bases have a range of 30 light years, so you can go from one star system to another.
So if I set my lock onto the Cygnus system, which is a whole nother system somewhere, that doesn't come up as a waypoint though, does it? Because it's
maybe it's locked out from range currently.
So
I'm not sure. This is the lines. Maybe you need to check in the system map if this is not
lock target. Oh, it's appeared. So that's 2 light years. So Cygnus is 2 light years away. So if I had a teleporter here in orbit on a base and a teleporter at the other end as well in Cygnus on a base, they could teleport between the two of them, even though they're in completely different systems.
Yes, because
they're in range.
This is the advantage of the teleporters, of course.
And that's Galactic, yeah. 20 light years. So 20 light years. If that's 2, then 20 light years is like.
Yeah, maybe
this, that one over there.
The values I changed. This are what we will add to the experimental. So if you find out maybe 30 light years is too far, then maybe this will change. It's also a bit a thought, and this is of course also feedback we're waiting for. Then is you of course have the capsule vessel which has a warp drive, which has a certain range of 30 light years, and should the teleporters be the same range? Should they be better? Should they be inferior, and so on?
Yeah.
And we hope to add this discussion or get feedback on this from all you players.
Oh, there he is. Sorry, I was waiting for the ship to come and get me, and I was sat for ages, but he's just sat out there. At the moment, my guns are now engaging. Go on, boys. So this guy's got player turrets on it. Look at this.
Yes.
This is the Huyzen class frigate, and the only reason I'm not dying instantly is because of my shields at the moment. And but my guns are not actually returning fire at the moment, so that's interesting. Do I need to declare them or set the turrets up or something?
Are they activated?
Are they, sorry?
Activated? I'm not sure what...
Turrets? Well, I mean...
Have you got any ammunition in them?
I did put 4,000... I put 15 mil, not 30 mil. Good call, Johnny. Good call. He knows me, see? He knows what I'm like. This is... Oh, he's put the wrong ammo in.
Did or not, so I had to ask the question.
Yeah. There you go, now they're shooting. That's the business. So yeah, these guys got player turrets on them, player missile turrets, player cannon turrets. The only thing.
The Polaris ships were the first which were equipped with these, and they are each of the factions. Orbital patrol vessels now follow a certain design guide, so you will not see this ship labeled as Cyrex. So
yeah,
the Cyrex have their own ships, and the Legacy have these Ammonites. They have their own design, and for the rest, we're aiming for the same approach. So if you run into a vessel, you do not even need to see it's a.
It's a nice looking
Polaris
boat as well.
Yeah.
It's a good model. I like it. Oh, look at the glowies out the back as well. Excellent. Excellent use of glowies. Love that. Have we got piping? Gotta have some piping somewhere. I'll ship that. Yeah, there's some piping. Love it. Spanj approves. Very nice. That's pretty cool because my shields are about to melt away and this thing is nowhere near dead. Obviously, I'm in quite a sort of early game ship. Hang on, I'm being attacked from... Oh, there's two of the buggers! Oh! Oh! It's a good job my ship's a lot faster and more maneuverable then, because I can get the hell out of it. Piping and glowies equals approved, absolutely, Uncle Sam. Nice. So these attacks, I mean, these are probably some of the more basic reinforcement attacks.
Yes, you can, of course, if you're in a level 10 environment in a playfield, you will face a lot of ships or really
powerful
big
ones.
Ship.
Yeah.
Nice. Currently, we have the corvette class, the frigate, and the destroyer class, and we have not gone yet to the battleship because we thought we will add ships for each faction, so this can be showcased. But we'll add more ships and types and so as we go, or as those who created these ships find the time to.
I don't know what the hell they were shooting at them, but that was really loud. Sorry. That's really cool. I can't wait. I can't wait to get into just lots of fights. With Zirax battle cruisers or something. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a little base down here on the planet and we're going to test our teleporters. So, I'm sorry, I'm littering your closed alpha server with just random spawns now. Base. Proto base level 12 will do. Ooh. Sorry, bear with. Proto base. Fuel. Obviously, in survival mode, I've got to re-enter these sort of god commands every single time. Right, and then we get a teleporter. There we go, 1,000 of them, just to be sure. Okay. So, how do I set this up then? Does it come out of God mode? The teleport to, bond in orbit, long hauler, teleport.
You should, when you access the UI, you see what targets are available.
That is so easy.
So what is in your range, and then you select, and then you say teleport. So it's as easy as that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Nice. So you can have orbital space station, dock all your ships around them, and set up a teleporter system to, I don't know, a water processing plant on the planet. Yes. Now here's the next question. Are you going to expand this teleportation, player teleportation, to maybe item teleportation as well?
Item teleportation?
Well, say I've got a water processing plant down on the planet with a container full of four stacks of water. Now with volume,
we have not. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
We have not talked about this. This is currently, as you know, the logistics system allows to create some semi-automated facilities. So not completely, but we're getting to this. And there is a step in between the way you gather your resources and how to bring them to your factory automatically. So if we find a good way to solve that, maybe possibly teleporting your stuff over a wide distance might be a thing as well. It's not an Alpha 12 topic.
No.
I need to say. But yes, probably it's going in the same direction. So we want to make some change to the logistics system, but other stuff we then had to work on, or we were working on, was a bit more time consuming. So yeah, but this is still a topic, yes.
So that sort of brings me on there. One of the other things that we were adding to Alpha 12 are ice asteroids.
Yeah.
Are they in? Can we explore that?
Yes.
Ooh.
They're in.
They're in.
They're in.
Not sure if there's any here, but
yeah. All we added not only ice, but we added a new material, I think for the first time ever since 8 versions or so, or 5 versions, is titanium. And you can have titanium is available in the asteroids and as deposits. And the change is that it's not only another additional material, but we changed the way how, for example, hardened steel and sathium and so is used. So for now, it's like you have steel and then you have titanium and then you go to sathium. So basically the steel stays steel blocks, for example, but then the hardened steel, or basically the hardened steel, you get titan plates, and the hardened steel blocks are now built from titan plates, so not from Thasium anymore. And the combat steel is now exclusive Sathium, so a little bit of steel and Sathium. So this is not only an additional material, but we changed the way how things are crafted in this context as well. So also for Windows, so where these hardened steel plates were used before, there's now titanium plates, and the hardened steel plates now used for the much higher stuff like combat steel. And the deposits also were changed accordingly, of course.
Right.
In the default random games.
So it's an alternative rather than a replacement.
It's mandatory currently. So titanium takes the place of Thasium in terms of these intermediate armor blocks and stuff. So it's entirely a change of the crafting queue. It's not an alternative.
Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood there when you mentioned the quality differences. I thought. Yeah.
So we changed this out. So it's not an alternative. So we changed this overall. So an alternative would be like the ice asteroids. You can get this from different sources, and we added this ice asteroids also for space, so you can harvest them. You get ice blocks and you melt them into, I think the receipt is you get this water, these water chucks, and then you process them further.
Titanium plates. I see now. Yeah.
So it's basically titanium ore.
Titanium rods, titanium plates.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the hardened steel, and you need the hardened steel plate and steel plate to make the combat steel. Yes. Hardened steel plate is just the Sathium. So combat steel, you don't need titanium.
Yes, it's not adding up. So we said a specific material for each stage, and for the second stage it's titanium. For the third it's Thasium, and the steel is added for overall structure. Let's say. So this is and we maybe in the future add more materials to the mix, so things get a bit more interesting, I think.
And one of the other things that I noticed in the item menu was even more trade commodities as well.
Yes, we added a new lineup of a few more trade commodities you can use, and yes.
So we're not seeing. I mean, maybe it's because I haven't been in the game for a little while, but I'm not seeing a huge sort of uptake of these in the base game in terms of trade and stuff. So I assume there's more going to be added.
Yes.
On top of this.
All the commodity items, so the traders were not changed a lot. So this is still a to-do. I hope we can solve in experimental. We'll build or we'll change what the traders trade and in all these commodity items as well. So you cannot craft them, but you can trade them for credits and so on and so on.
Okay.
So this should be, it's a bigger topic to rework, and I've prepared a few things, but it's still to be done.
Oh yeah, ultimately we need something that we can only buy in order to drive the need for credits. At the moment, even in single player and even in sort of casual multiplayer, credits have no purpose really, other than maybe if you just get in some armor mods because you can't find any, or you just want to get rid of that sort of slight step of RNG in finding the right armor mod or some auto miner cores or something like that.
Yes.
Other than that, there's no real reason to have credits.
Yes. But creative credits, we aim for a few changes, so credits might become more important in the future. We'll say not changes, but future additions. If those that listen to our first Q&A or follow the announcement, there's still one feature which I think will not make it into the Alpha 12, but maybe 12.1 or so, is the station services. So as I said, this is not experimental and it possibly not going to Alpha 12, but it's like you hail a station, you say, what are your serve you offer me, and then you can refill your ship with Pentexit or 2 ammo, maybe repair the template or whatever we think you do, and maybe then for this they will charge you credits. So like a trader, but with a more global approach, and this should make also the trading a bit more, add a more sense or interest in this. And for this commodity stuff, we also, or at least it was a plan that if you go to a station or so, the trader in the station should have something in its context of the station. So, for example, if you are on a power station or so, then the trader offers, for example, energy cells, but also toxic waste. And you can pick up this toxic waste and bring it to a waste processing facility. And there's another trader which is not selling the same stuff, but he wants to buy toxic waste. And so you have a little more integration of this commodity stuff without having to craft or run for it. So you could trade these things contextually to the POI topic, for example.
Yeah, okay. So you can actually run a trader life.
Yes, if you are, we have a station like a biolab or so, then you get a virus or what's this or other biological stuff, and you can bring it to a research facility, and then maybe you get even a reputation, because with a new dialogue system, we can even add an NPC or so. So if he says, bring me some toxic waste, or bring me this alpha virus, or so, we can manage your reputation or what you get, or even rewards, without even touching PDA stuff. So this all would then work without having to run a mission, or PDA mission having active. So it's this is a new possibility with the dialogue system in conjunction with trading and all the other stuff added.
Yeah, I can't find any ice asteroids. Are they definitely in the scenario?
I'm not sure if there's but you could try if you go to your blueprint library and go to the
its server doesn't work what you want to do.
Doesn't work.
No, not the server, only create mode.
Taylor,
I don't think they're added yet to this scenario, the new ones.
But you can teleport to me and spawn me in a nice ice asteroid, couldn't you? Mr. Server GM person. Have you got to do it via EAH or something?
I might be able to get you one.
Okay. Just to show that you can now get water in space. I mean, you can now get water in space. Is there, even if I can't show you it? You will be able to mine, because it will just be like rock, and I assume, because we can see in the item menu, if I actually use the keyboard correctly, that we've got this ice blocks here. So if I give myself some 4,000 ice blocks, let's just assume I've harvested a ice asteroid. Oh yeah, logistics. So let's put it out to 2. So what do I do with my ice? Is water. I can make it. Wait, well, there you go. 1 ice, 1 water. That's pretty nice. So if you do mine 4,000 blocks of ice, you get 4,000 water, and water now stacks up to 4,000. I think, wasn't it? Yeah. So you're not going to take up all the slots in a cargo controller with the water. There we go. So yeah, you can, and can you turn that water? You can turn that water into oxygen, I believe. Oh no, that requires the steel plate as well. But yes, you can. The water container plus steel plate gets you your O2 bottles, which means you don't actually need to now go down on a planet to refuel your oxygen tanks.
Exactly. So at least if you're able to find a water asteroid, an ice asteroid, you are more independent from having to set up a base on any planet now.
Well, and you know, that opens the door more for scenario creators as well. You can create very space heavy playfields where you've got a lot of very inhospitable worlds, and you basically are just encouraging people to spend more time in space and only go down on planet for sort of mining and stuff rather than living down there.
Exactly.
Yep.
So one thing, speaking of space, also you notice basically in our default scenarios we have few bases which are built into asteroids.
Oh yeah.
And this was a bit not cheating, but a lot of workarounds necessary to actually spawn an asteroid. And this is now possible for creative mode. You can legally spawn any of the asteroid models in the game and use them. So hope to see more space bases with asteroids material, because we need some pirate bases still. Yeah.
You hear that? You still need some pirate bases. Get building, people. Come on. So these are just because you've got some, or well, there was some. No, hang on, I'll be careful here because I'm getting confused between the vanilla game and Project Eden. But I know the Raven and Project Eden, he did include some pirate bases, and then there are some, I'm pretty sure, in the vanilla game as well.
If you can make a marker Spanj and share it publicly, then I know where you are, because the Japan helper is currently not working. Then I'll come to you and have the Titan asteroid and the Ice asteroid.
Raven.
Getting your asteroid.
Hang on then.
Titanium is not on the starter planet because, as I said, it's taking the place of the Sathium. So it's in places where you expect to find Sathium.
Right. Oh, I shouldn't be out here. This we get. Nope, don't have an EVA boost and in-light armor. I set that public waypoint. Did you get it? Can you see it? It's just called me.
Me.
Yeah, I am in.
Not publicly shared.
I'm in Haresh orbit.
What galaxy is that?
In the nail system. It's the starter system. I haven't left the starter system. Haresh orbit. It's basically opposite to where Athlon is. What galaxy is that? Nice.
Same, no, Sathium was not removed. It was, the crafting progression or material progression has been a bit split up. We added in titanium, and so it's a bit more varied. It's not been removed.
Right, okay. Have you found me yet?
My game wants to work.
What do you mean it doesn't work? It's perfect.
Because I'm breaking stuff.
It never breaks. What are you talking about? Can I spawn this alien turret in and put it on my ship? but it won't work at the moment, will it? It's still work in progress.
No, will not work.
Okay. I'm just looking at all the stuff.
I hope to fix this in the first half of the experimental, so we can. We also added new Cyrex turrets for capsule vessels to match better their.
Oh, I can't wait to see those. I've just found blast doors.
Yes, blast doors. And these are new as well. There's two sizes for now. They should be placeable. Oh, they have no icon. Yes.
They have no icon yet. No, that's fine. We can work around an invisible icon. Okay, hang on. Oh no, not in creative mode. I can't shift right click. Need one of them. What are they called? Tools that multiply. There we go. 2,000 multi-tool charges. I'll take it. Oh no, weights and volume says no.
Yeah, it's activated.
Right.
Yeah, the blaster's purpose is to have very heavy doors. They're currently not airtight because for airtight we need to add a
force field.
This force field. I'm not sure if this really fits, and maybe it's on you to give feedback on these.
How much do they cost in comparison to a normal door? Are they, because I mean, if they're more technologically expensive, as in Airstream and Zircosium, then I think they should have force fields in them. But if they're just steel, then maybe not.
No, I think not. I'm not sure if the template is fixed already for these.
Wait, am I an advanced constructor? I can't even see them. Are they added to the constructors yet?
Yeah, they should be available in the constructor. Maybe are they?
Maybe
they should be.
Maybe I've got to unlock them.
Yeah, I need to unlock it.
Last doors, yeah. I'm only level 6. Sucks. Yeah, I would say that, yeah, depending on the costs.
Yeah, for Alpha 12 we added quite a lot of stuff. So like detectors and the handheld detector and the blast doors and stuff. So yeah, it's all open for, as always, open for feedback on the cost, on the templates, energy in, mass and stuff.
What's the hit points on these bad? 3,200. For comparison, a hangar door here is 7,730, but it's one object. Every single one of these is going to have 3,200.
If you go outside your ship, you have the ice asteroid and the titanium asteroid.
It's that asteroid Voxel 01 Titan. And ice. Ice, ice, baby.
Demonetized.
Yeah, demonetized. Bugger. Right, debug drill time. Okay. So, got excited. I'm now inside the asteroid. Drilled myself. Yeah, so that just works like just like normal rock. Yeah, the debug is gonna kick ass, isn't it? But sweet, 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 sweet. That's what a nice asteroid looks like, everybody. And titanium looks a bit like Sathium. This is a new texture, though, isn't it? Yeah, I don't recognize it.
Yes, a new texture. So try to model it a bit. It's a bit different, but yes.
Yeah. Well, lo and behold, everybody, they work like normal asteroids. Who would have thought?
Yes.
There we go. Yeah, we can just add our. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like the blast doors as well. I think this is gonna.
Yeah, as one said currently in the chat, you could place a force field behind it or sealed door. So
yeah, that's what I think.
I tend to keep it this way, but yeah, we'll see. This is a lot can change.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd hook them up to signal logic so they all open simultaneously. If you're trying to make a big heavy hangar door, you could put these vertically or horizontally like I've got them now. Yeah, and you could just install force field generators because these are, well, these are a whole block, aren't they? So, and force fields are very thin. So you, if it was a vertical, then I mean I could just bring it in Let me just bring some force fields in a second. Because it will work. Force fields. Oh, who put the shields on? It's me, I did it. I put the shields on. Am I going the right way? No. I can never tell which way the damn force field's going on these things.
Currently we have 2 sizes. We'll add in more in the future, I think.
I still can't tell.
Close.
Pass. Let's do that one. That one goes. Nope. Which way does the fields go?
Use a bigger one, yes.
Right. So that's the. We need to rotate it that way, and then that way. Yeah. Trial and error. We'll get there eventually, guys. There we go. Bit of overlap, but whatever. So yeah, I could do that. Just stick force field blocks behind it.
Yeah.
To make it airtight. But yeah, I mean, I've always kind of found it slightly weird that doors, like heavy doors, are ahead of in the tech tree. Oh, sorry, what was it? What am I saying? So, shutter doors have force fields in them, but do not cost a Restrum Zirconium.
Yeah.
But force field generators do.
Yeah, there's a bit of sometimes a bit of a logic break, yes.
Yeah.
So we will straighten this out over time. So all the force fields, O2 sealing stuff is maybe something to look into in the future. Yeah, but we cannot make things too costly then. But we need to have this technical force field to seal things off, and yeah, it's a bit back and forth.
Well, yeah, I mean, so aside from making it too complicated, maybe you can come up with like an airlock door.
Yeah.
That's cheaper, doesn't use a force field, but is just a whole one block that has a door either side of it and works like an airlock, and that would be cheaper than a force field. Or maybe it's 2 blocks so that you then have a reason to then get a force field, which is only 1 block. Anyway, but the whole tech tree is going to be reworked anyway, yes, isn't it?
We started to sort things a bit around, and maybe so you can see it in the weapons maybe best. That we straightened out a few things and moved around a few weapons or other, and also for the device and so on. Yes.
Amazing. All right, this is looking really good. What else is coming in Alpha 12? So there is some adjustments to CPU, isn't there?
Yeah, at CPU, yes. I wrote a blog post about it. There have a few changes, and we'll read it next week. And we basically talk about 2 things. Currently, if you know when you are beyond the tier level CPU, you get a penalty that things do not work good anymore. So this will see on the other side, if you now in Alpha 12 you get to a certain level, you get a boost or a buff for them. Some like let me look it up so I don't say something wrong. So, for example, the ship booster, the thruster booster would get benefit for each tier level, like 5% extra or so. So, if you acquire a tier level, you get a benefit for your ship boosters. And we plan to do this for other devices as well. Basically, the idea was that those devices that get a penalty when you use more CPU on your given tier, on the other hand, would also get maybe a bonus when you stick to your tier, basically. So it's a bit plus and minus. Right. This is the one thing. There have been a few other changes, like the CPU on tier 4 for the HV was a little bit increased from 70,000 to 100,000, I think. And But maybe the bigger news is that we announced something like the tier 5 level, and we tossed a few ideas around how we could do this. And currently the implementation that will be in the experimental, I think, is that we have added a core that does not use CPU anymore. So we're calling it the advanced core, and it's a player core. So the idea is now that you can acquire this core, and when you upgrade your green player core to this, I think it's cyan or so, bluish core, or
Yes.
not sure. Yes, the advanced core. Yes, you have it there already.
Yep.
Then you get rid of the CPU limitation. The thing that is not yet decided is how to acquire this core.
Right.
I think in the experimental on Alpha 12, it would be some gameplay challenge, not too hard, but you need to invest some time for it. So I think we will not make it like a random drop or like in a loot table or so, but gift it to you for a certain mission, task, or whatever. So this is the current idea. So you upgrade your green player core to the advanced core, and then you basically get rid of the CPU limitation. Yeah.
So you're currently thinking that you're going to be able to build this thing?
I'm not sure, to be honest. This has not been decided yet.
Right, yeah.
The current implementation is just that it's added. So the upgrade possibility is already possible, or it's already doable. The plan is currently for Alpha 12, as I said, to get this core when you do certain things, or in terms of a mission, or with a dialogue system, we can do this without a mission, so you do not need to bother with going to the PDA mission or so stuff. But the rest will be open to feedback, I think. Then.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people think about that one. Me personally, I hope you can't build it, and I know a lot of people are probably going to shake their fists furiously at me for saying that. Shut up, Spanj! Because I know a lot of people don't obviously like the RNG of the loot boxes and stuff like that. But I think if you can, the thing is, I know a lot of Empyrion players that within a day they've got an endgame CV. You know, they're able to get through the game so very quickly and easily, especially as they work as a faction and stuff like that. That I agree for the sort of normal player, the casual player, having that kind of block of having to go out and raid and find a component or whatever it is that randomly drops at a percentage rate is a pain in the backside. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, at least if it's a random drop, then everybody's on the same playing field. You know, everybody's got that percentage chance. Whereas if it's a constructible and you've got a faction full of people that can get through to endgame ships in a day against, you know, one guy, two guys, they might get lucky. You're going to go into a POI and it will drop straight away, and bang, they've got a CPU exempt ship. And the faction, it might take them 10, 20 POIs. But, you know, that's just me. That's my thoughts, my 2 cents.
Yeah, there are a lot of approaches to this topic, and we saw it in the past when we talked about the CPU extenders. And first we did not want to have it craftable, and then feedback said it's better to have this craftable, and if things were back and forth. And for Alpha 12, as I said, we will have the concept of this tier 5, or let's say the advanced core in, so we can offer relief from the CPU at a certain level when you are made some progress, or you found out how to acquire this advanced core. So, but the details, maybe are a bit to be found still. Yeah. So for now, the option is in, and we also commit to this. And now it's about feedback on the details.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. So yeah, I'm seeing HVs and SVs tier 4 are now 100,000.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent, eh? What does that mean? Does that mean? Does that mean? No way. Shut your face. Hang on.
Yeah, I know where this is going.
It lives! 135,000. It doesn't live!
Oh.
Mind you, this is the unmodified version, so I think this is possibly the version that has GIM. What kind of command is that? GIM. Elion, please add. Right. Yeah. This is still the ridiculous version. It's fine. In my creative session, I have a in progress version that is perhaps, I think, under 100,000. Hi. What's wrong with me? Yeah. Oh dear. I can't type. Somebody help me. Entity structure not found. 12622. 12622. Broke it. Broke it. Hello, please fix. Right. I left a tank there. It won't despawn or destroy itself. So yeah. Sorry about the mess. See you later. Right. Oh no, that's good. Hopefully we can save some of our more ridiculous builds then with CPU with these changes. There were some changes as well to the thrusters and how much CPU they used. Like you said, you did a blog post about it. Because there's quite a few. There's a few ships. Maybe if I drop off the server a second and go into creative mode, there are a couple of ships. Oh, this is going to break my creative mode. Oh, I don't know whether I do this or not. Wait, it's coming. It's going experimental this week, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
It looks like this.
I'm gonna risk it. Problem is once you load a save game into a new version of the game, you then you can't then revert the game and then go into that save game. They're not backwards compatible. So going into my creative session, I get a lot of errors. But these are where all my works in progress are. Ooh, hello. Okay, good news. It's still aligned with the playfield, not the galaxy, but then this isn't a new galaxy. Okay, so first of all, oh, go away. This might be a problem. Getting a lot of quit or continues. Okay. Elion! Humal! You said it would be better. You said there would be change.
When you broke it, it's broken.
It still says 11 million.
Yeah, the thrusters up in the back and forth. There's not finally decided how to approach these. Yeah. Can't say a lot about it yet.
Okay. Because yeah, I was under the impression. I'm pretty sure you said last time that thrusters and RCSs and the cost of those things were going to come down a bit.
The cost of the
in the
HV was reduced. I'm not sure if the cost for the capital vessels and the small vessels was.
Oh yeah, there's all the details coming out now, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Fine. Every day. You break my heart more and more. The superlifter is still illegal. This is not good. Not good. Anyway, so there are some changes in Alpha 12 with
Yes.
creative mode as well, isn't there? So something like the multi-tool now works with undo. You were quite excited about, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
I think that's quite a simple one to demonstrate.
Yes, yep. One of the changes is that you can undo stuff you messed up with a multi-tool as well.
Yep.
I need to dig out my list. As I said, I compiled the whole change log today.
Good news is the Naginata is still fine. I'm just going through all my builds now. Which ones are alive and which ones are not. It doesn't seem to have changed much, but okay.
Yeah, the CPU values itself didn't change so much, I think.
Yeah.
But maybe it's interesting for those who create scenarios or so that, as you know, we have this config file where you can change a few values back and forth. So in Alpha 12, you will get a lot more configuration possibilities. So it has been decided that we will expose nearly all of the internal config files, like the blocks are configured, the items are configured down to some AI configuration is now possible then. Yeah, I need to ask you to wait for the experimental then. Yeah, the details are to be to be put into a file with everyone can read. But long story short, you will have much more direct access to all the config files. With this comes the risk that you can break your save game quite easily, because this does not have this fail-safe anymore that the custom config had, because this was, as you all know, in the custom config there were only values, and if you did not set something there or did it wrong, it might possibly not break a save, it just did not work. And with a block config, for example, you can change parameters and values that are like you can change nearly everything now. So things like I normally change when players request, please do these and that, you can do it then as well.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've sort of given up on scenario creation myself. It's a second job, basically. Yes. And as the game gets more and more complicated, so does scenario creation. So, if you look at the custom config, and if you thought about, hey, I would like to change this, but it's not the custom config, but I know it's in the game, it's very much or pretty likely that it's now available with the configs then. Nice. Good news. The Hydra lives. 89,000, baby. She lives. I mean, she is heavily nerfed, though. You still made me nerf her, but she lives. And she's got shields. And she's still ridiculous. Utterly insane, stupid tank. She lives. So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. CPU fixed. Official, because Hydra lives. Therefore, I said so. Happy days. We've got a tank bigger than that, then it's too big. Right? Simple as that. Oh dear. 89,000, 100,000. So there we go. You can do it.
I thought it was a CV, yes.
You thought it was a CV.
Tanks in scales of Spanj.
Yep.
Is it a half a Spanj? Is it a 3/4 Spanj?
We're getting rid of tons and meters. We're measuring everything in Spanges now. It's 3 1/4 Spanges. It's too big, mate. I don't know why I went Australian, but we're going to go with it. Right. More Aussie Spanj coming right up. And I've lost my bloody ships. Crikey, where the hell am I? That way. Over yonder.
You could look in your registry. It's quite a few.
Oh yeah. There's a bit of a lag fest in my my creative session, because there's a Gladiator, 2 Superlifters, and Gemini Outpost. And Gemini Outpost is a lag fest at the best of times anyway. And then when you add those 3 lag fests to it, it's 20 frames a second. And on a PC that usually gets about 170 or so on a starter planet. So yeah. But this is the problem. Obviously, the game encourages so much creativity and freedom of creativity, but it's limited by modern technology. The limits is almost our imagination. Almost. Trigger warning. But yeah, there's obviously the engine's limited with voxel technology and stuff like that.
Yeah, we need to consider that each of these blocks is a moving block, and I think we aim for more optimization on this. But this more towards beta or so. So when all the stuff is in and we can concentrate on things like optimizing the features themselves and not risking to break anything anymore while we add or change a feature. So.
Spanj, can you jump to another star and show us how much pentaxid it costs? Maybe. It depends on the distance, though. That's the problem.
Yes.
So, I mean, do you know, Hummel, off the top of your head, or Talon, how much pentaxid does it cost per AU?
One pentaxid per 1 AU. 1
pentaxid per AU.
I think we currently have set it to 1 by 1. So it's 1 AU is 1 pentaxid and 1 light year is also 1.
Yes.
But you could basically change this in the
config. Okay. Yeah.
You can even change the maximum distance that you can teleport, or that you can warp. Like the teleporter is set to 30 light years, the warp drive is set to 30 light years. You cannot change it. You can even players can even allow a gravity generator that can be placed on a small vessel.
But this is all stuff edited in the config, isn't it? For the average player going into the game and just starting a new game, then it's just 1-to-1.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Okay, so we're rapidly approaching 9 o'clock over on my end. Is there anything else you want to cover before we start taking questions from the chat?
Well, we pretty much have touched every topic, I think. So it's Galactic, the detection system, the registry, the dialogues. We did not talk a lot about the K token, but maybe it's a bit technical. I'll detail this in the forum then for those that are interested. We had the space-based defense and the configs, CPU, factions, materials.
Gas giants.
Gas giants. Yes, of course we have new in terms of how the systems are created. Okay, yeah. We have a few versions on these, but maybe you need to make a solo survival then.
Let's have a look at solo survival then. Let's have a quick goose at that. So if I start a new game. Survival, and this is pretty much the same as before. No, I'm just going to leave that all as normal because I'll start a different game later. I did notice that you've now got the jungle planet available. Is that good to go, or is that still work in progress?
The temporary 2 starters, I think this is work in progress.
Okay, I call it jungle.
You can, jungle planet. Yes, it's a bit more tougher planet.
Yeah. It's tougher planet. I had a little go at it earlier, but none of the Robinson protocol or anything was set up for it.
No,
it was just
it's a free of anything. I plan to add the Robinson protocol there as well, but the jungle planet has a bit of a different POI setup, and this is created so nicely that I do not want to drop in the POIs I would need for the Robinson protocol. So maybe this will stay that way, and maybe we can do something different with it. But for the 2 starter plans, so the arid and the temperate, we have changed a few of the starting area, and this is basically the most visible change. And when you come down, you get you do not get a static box anymore, but you get this first dialog element.
Right, so if I look at my solar system map right now, I can see a gas giant. I assume that's a gas giant. This is the big purple thing called Kai.
Yes.
So let's have a look at that, shall we? Let's go straight in with some cheatiness. Cheaty.
So you cannot teleport to the gas giants because they are locked out from the usual transportation system. You can go to Kai Moon sector, and this should then show.
I just go straight to Kai orbit. Unknown playfield because I did not capitalize the O on orbits. Ooh, still an unknown playfield. What am I doing wrong?
You cannot teleport to the gas giants because you can also not travel to them.
Well, even the orbit.
Teleport to the moon.
Yes, to teleport to the moon. K,
Okay.
moon, or, sector, not orbit.
Kai moon.
Yes, K, moon, sector. It's not orbit anymore.
It's sector. It's not orbit.
No, it's not
Ah.
orbit. Now it's sector.
Oh, this is cool.
Sector is planet, moon, and the space in between.
Right.
And we found orbit is a line around the sun, and yeah.
There we go. Look at that.
It's also internal called sector, so yeah.
Dad's big fat gas giant. What happens if I try and go into it? I mean, you can't. Does it bounce off, or do I never get to it?
You cannot reach it.
It's just a skybox, like the orbital background. Basically, it's just a background. You cannot enter. You cannot fly around.
Not even. It's actually a model, but this is so large that it's larger than one sector, and or it would not leave a lot of place to move around. So we chose to implement the gas giants, much like the suns. So they appear on the sky, and when you're on the planet, you can see them, but you cannot reach them because they fill up the sector with its 100,000 meters pretty much. So we chose to edit it this way.
Okay.
But it's actually a model, so it's not only a skybox, and it comes in different flavors. We have ringed ones and everything in between. I think there are 10 variants or so currently.
So if I was to, let's see, let's go to, there is no information available on the Demigog 2 system. Okay.
There should be a second one? No.
Cassitherim. So can I go lock target? So now how do I teleport to that system?
Can you double click on it?
Double click on it. I was saying
once again.
Hang on.
When you said double click,
there's no information available on Demigoogie 2.
You need to activate the console sheet with the sector database.
Oh, okay. New consoles. Teach me.
Yeah, we have a few more. I think a lot more console commands. So just a second. The command
sectors reveal.
Sector database debug. And then sector database debug.
Debug.
Yeah.
Debug generates solar systems on double-clicking galaxy map switched on to on. Okay.
And then you should be able to double-click on a solar system and teleport right to it.
Yeah. Okay. So that teleports me to the system, or just opens it up, and then I can teleport to Oh my god. I'm never going to be able to spell an Adruar. Jesus. Somebody had a few when they come up with that one. I take it shift double click or shift control click doesn't work with this one yet.
No, you cannot teleport to the planet playfield or so sector. It's only for us for the debugging and the construction of those that create solar system to be a bit quicker than having to actually fly.
I can't remember the name of it.
If you can.
I can't remember. Somebody write that in chat for me so I can copy and paste it out. That's more. That's worse than Icelandic. Where's Ivor? Thank you, Kilogram. Where's Ivor? He's Icelandic. Right. So moon. Error playfield name unknown. You typed it wrong, Kilogram. You've let me down. I trusted you.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah, should use sector, not teleport.
Oh, so rather than TT, I type sector. Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Something happened. Ooh, yeah, it worked. Sector worked.
So for getting around in the galaxy, you use sector. Teleport is only for local.
Local, right? Okay. So because I was going across
Yeah, this is a recent change. I've in the changelog as well that these commands changed a bit. Yeah, because now we have Galaxy and we have not only sectors anymore and yeah, stuff like this.
Yeah, no matter how far I teleport forward, I can't get close to this gas giant. I'll get onto the sunny side of it. But that's an ice one. Yeah, like you say, lots of different flavors of them. So far, only one per. What about Veluki? Double click on Veluki. Oh my lord. Fig 7472i. Sector. Fig 7472i. Star with not found. Bugger. This is going to make teleporting around a little tricky. I gotta tell you, server admin's going to hate you. Is that an I or is that an L? Is it a lowercase L? Or is it a 1? It's not a 1. It's definitely an I. Big 7472. Let's try moon. Moon. Damn it. Oh. Fig is in capitals. I get it. I get it. No, doesn't work. Not found. Ah. 7472. I've hit numlock and now I screwed it. Nope.
I love how they're both silent in chat and they're not like helping you out.
Oh, you know, yeah.
Sitting there watching you.
Wait, am I doing a stupid? Yeah, I am. I'm like saying 7472, but I'm typing 2472. Jesus. Ah!
My God.
It's actually fun to watch.
That's why they were sitting there saying nothing. They were like, how long is it going to take Spanj to figure out he's a twat? He can't type. This will be fun. We'll keep this going for a little while. Cheers, guys. Alright, there's over there. That's a nice looking one. I like that. That's like a Jupiter gas giant.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Chat, by the way, was absolutely loving you.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Fig. Spanj, 9 o'clock. We should move on. Also, fig. It's true. It's true. Right.
Yeah.
Anything else before we move on, Hummel?
I looked through the list though. The rest is we have added a lot more stuff. Like as I said, this smaller things like this get generator and with multi-tool, and you all will see this in the list the next days. And I hope to have feedback. And yes, so the main features we've already talked about. We could have totally shown more of dialogue. So if you guys are interested, you can possibly do this.
One thing that's come up in the chat is the sliders. Have those been included?
Oh yes, for the talk.
They're on the control panel
Yes.
of the ship. Less space, I think.
Let's go back into creative a second. Spanj does crystal maths. Shut up. God. Yeah, so how's crouching coming along? Well, we got you got some mocap volunteers yet?
Not yet, no.
Yeah.
That's what holding us up, yes.
Right, let's have a look at this. We've got the old bolt here. Let's see. So in the P menu and then statistics. Looky, here we go, look. Yep. And and real time it updates the actual overview as well. So I'm modifying the pitch and it's real time telling me how many degrees a second that is, modifying it by the roll as well. And yeah. Yep.
So this should help with adjusting how the vessels behave and roll and whatever.
Yeah.
It's a bit more fine-tuned. So something more to play around with.
Yeah, because there are a few ships that obviously the performance is maybe a little bit too much. A little bit too much. Oh.
Yeah, you can pretty much set this to your liking. So because adding a RCS or two or more or thrusters is, I think, not fine-grained enough. So these sliders should allow for this required fine-grained tuning. After you have set your stuff then.
Yeah, this is much nicer. Very nice. Other than the frames per second flying around this place, which is my own fault. Yeah. I've just updated the pitch yaw settings for Crazy's pleasure lifter. Crazy, hi if you're in the chat, by the way, buddy. Love the ship. We need to get it actually fitted into the super lifter. But it was a bit twitchy. It was a bit twitchy on the pitch and the roll especially. I've just downed them to 0.4 and 0.3. It now flies absolutely ideal to my playstyle.
He did actually comment, nice ship.
Hey, Crazy. It is a very nice ship. Beautiful. So that's good.
Man, there are a lot of questions.
Right, let's get through it. Okay, I'm going to put a time limit on this because, I mean, I'll go to work tomorrow like a lot of people. So we'll put an absolute time limit on it of 1 hour. So by 10 o'clock, let's say, if we haven't got through all the questions by 10 o'clock, then obviously very sorry, but that's the time limit.
If we see questions we do not answer or we cannot answer because the time limit, as I said, the experimental is a few days away, so take a chance and post it to the forums. We'll try to answer it then as well, either in the experimental release or announce or before. So make use of the forum if you want.
Yeah, I'll just post the forum link in the chat there. So there you go. Johnny, take it away. Put you on the spot now. Hey, I forget you're the one with the questions.
There were no questions.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right. So Caitlin Gearbox asked, "Are we going to get pistons and rotors?" Which a couple other people have also asked similar things, and I think we've already got an answer for that. As far as
pistons, rotors, yeah. Currently, I think we will not have this in a way that we have individual devices that do these movements. There are a few obstacles here and there, and combination different grids with pistons, rotors can throw up a lot of problems. So what I think we will see more in the future is animated models that do certain stuff, but I do not think we will have actual wrist pistons and rotors in a way that you can create movable devices, at least not in the foreseeable future.
all right, and then replacement of the factory. What are the plans with that? That's from Meyer G.
I think you mean replacement from the factories. You want to replace the remote window, which is currently the combination of the blueprint library and the factory.
A factory block or device, yeah.
We might have an idea how to do this. Not for Alpha 12, but in terms of the station services, we thought of a feature where you could buy a ship from a trader. So, currently you cannot do this because ships are voxel objects and need to be spawned or so. But if we can do it in Alpha 12, we might add a possibility you can spawn ships. So you go to a trader, buy a ship, it spawned at a certain position. And this will basically then be a similar mechanic we need for something like a shipyard. So you have your factory block you put in the stuff in there like you would compared to what the trader does, and then you get your stuff spawned somewhere. So if you manage to do this as a project in Alpha 12, we're a step closer to replacing this remote window with an actual device, shipyard, whatever we will call this.
And it's the idea that that shipyard will be hooked up to the logistics system?
Yes.
Yeah. So it will take resources directly from a box rather than a player having to drag and drop into the factory manually.
Yes. Yeah. It's a global idea of getting rid of those remote window. It's a convenient solution to some point. But we always wanted to get rid of this sooner or later.
And with the spawning from a factory, obviously spawning from a trader, presumably it will just spawn it at an arbitrary set of coordinates near to the station or whatever it is. But if you were to build one on a base, how would that work? Would you have to set a block or?
Maybe so, like you know it from the NPC or from the motion sensor. We have an area you can configure, and possibly it will be a block like this, and then you have a certain area where can you spawn a certain sized ship. And I think the traders will use the same mechanic. That's why I say if you manage to add this in that way, we will possibly able to add this in more easily for the players and for the Blueprint Factory and library.
My only issue with a spawnable area, a spawnable zone, is that limits size, does it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's basically it's kind of intentional that you have a certain limited area. But maybe this is very theoretical at the moment because we have not followed this a lot more than because we did not even start with the station service. And when we come to this point, I think this whole topic of the factory and the blueprint library is more in reach then, but I doubt this will happen for Alpha 12, maybe more towards 12.3 or 5 or so, or even Alpha 13.
Alpha 13 confirmed.
All right, here's one from Gregory T that's close to my heart. Are we going to get grenades or throwables anytime soon?
Topic of the weapon rework, maybe in the future. Currently it's not really doable.
Why not?
Work with colliders, models, animations, stuff. So it's quite a lot of. It's maybe an easy feature, but it looks like it would be an easy feature, but it encompasses a lot of side topics. Like I said, we need animations for throwing. It's same as with melee or so.
Well, don't bother with throwing. Just have a grenade launcher.
Yeah, okay.
And then that removes your throwing animation problem.
But bouncing off projectiles from surfaces, and there's a...
All right, another one, sticky grenades. So then you just stick to something you fire at. No. You need proper bouncing. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
These are when we come to this topic, I think grenades and stuff like this will be one of the first things considered, but currently it's not in range, I think. So this is also maybe more towards Alpha 13 or later.
Alpha 13 confirmed.
With all the reworks. Yeah.
Okay, so weapon reworks, would that include weapon mods or modifications that you can add to the weapons and that kind of thing?
Exactly. It would encompass this as well.
All right, so that knocks off the question for Eagle 886 as well. If you can just go over for us again a couple of questions we had about the titanium ore. Where will we be able to find it? Is it like in the vanilla game now? I'm not talking about modded servers and stuff.
It's in the vanilla game, yes. As I said, we replaced some of the Sathium stuff with titanium stuff. So neither is Sathium removed from the game, nor it's not available anymore. And true is for titanium that, for example, there were some sources in terms of asteroids. They now spawn titanium in the same places. Or there are deposits on planets. I have my list anymore here, but we changed the Sathium spawn with titanium spawn. So you can mine it where you would expect it, where you need it, where you maybe had mined Thasium before. So, but as I said, because I saw this in the chat as well, that Thasium is not removed. It's just pushed a bit further up the material progression, and you need it still for combat steel.
Would you say Sathium is now more comparable to Erestrum as Ascosium in rarity? Or even more so, yeah.
It should be a bit, rarer, more mature. This is something to be found out. So we've made the first changes only lately, so comes down to the feedback if it's not too rare or if you need too much of it, or we'll see.
Okay, then I've got a question from Ellie Jones about remapping of mouse buttons. Apparently, since Alpha 11, there's been some issue with players who are left-handed.
We have not changed at the moment for this. I think it still is a list, all this controller stuff, also for joysticks, gamepads, and so on and so on. But this is currently not. Maybe in between versions we can work on this.
All right, and then Xnetic, or Mr. X as we know him, has asked if there's a colorblind mode in the near future.
Not yet, but I will gladly set this on the list as well.
Or if you're doing a colorblind mode, you've got to do an arachnophobia mode. That's the other that's the other trendy thing that's been done now. Thanks to Satisfactory, they started it, bastards.
All right. Waga Links asks if we can change the intensity of the spotlights.
The intensity of the spotlight.
What, greater or less?
Well, just change.
Just change in general, just up or down.
Not yet, I think.
Well, you can. I mean, with the lights that you can fit to basins and CVs, you can modify the intensity. But I assume he's talking about the ones, the ship ones, yeah.
It's maybe just not added yet. So there are a lot of these features, like why does this not work like that, or even like something like why has the survival tent not be a spawn point, because this is also a request what has cooked in my list for a while. So I have a lot of requests like these, and maybe some more will come up in the first question. So yes, this will all be considered when time comes. So I'm afraid I cannot say it's easy to do. It's tomorrow. It's next version. So we'll need to have the time for this.
All right. We had a couple of people ask: has the minimum specs for the game, can it change? Will you need a more powerful machine to play off it?
You should not currently. We have even made, if I'm not mistaken, we've made a few optimizations lately, and so the minimum specs should not have changed that much. So what you mean is possibly the minimum specs that they're displayed on the Steam page, or the global feeling that it's now requiring more computer power. So this is maybe something we need to investigate, but I do not know that there has been any change.
Have you guys recently updated those specs on Steam or anywhere on your forum?
Currently not, no.
Okay.
I'm playing Empyrion currently on I think a 5-year-old notebook. Okay, I have only 10 frames per second, but this has not changed. So, yeah.
All right, and then
Elion, please get home on your laptop.
It's my reserve notebook, so.
Midverse asks, will there be reinforcements from friendly factions, like if you're in Honored with Polaris or something like that, and like the NPC reinforcements?
Currently not, but this is an interesting idea we already had. So there are a few things we think we will do with all this reinforcements, NPC stuff in the next updates. And reinforcements from your befriended faction might be one thing with it.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah, if you could set up alliances or something.
Yeah. There's been quite a few questions about the player drones, like getting drones for your ships that attach and detach from your ships.
Oh yeah, have you extended the range of the
also-
drone? Sorry to jump in. Can you, please? It's so terrible. Sorry, carry
And
on.
also, there's been a question about drones being able to pick up items from boxes and that kind
So first one, drones for vessels. We once had the idea to change this drill turrets to maybe to drone bay or so. So you would launch your drone from your ship's drone bay and then mine or so. If this is this was a topic, there's a maybe. I do not know if this concept will be added or changed or so. Picking up stuff with drones from cargo boxes. I think this is there's somewhere technical constraint maybe, but we could look into this as well.
Maybe just have a limited carrying capacity for the
Yeah,
drone.
it's a bit currently as the drones the player drone does not cost you anything, and we are a bit concerned this could be exploited in different ways. So, but the player drones as well as the jetpack and so might become parts of your suit or extensions in your suit in the future. So at that point, we can reconsider this. Yeah.
All right, and then a couple of questions about solar panels. Is there any overhaul plan for solar panels? Will we be getting solar panels on CVs? And
I
also
don't think
staying
so.
in the vein of power, other power sources like geothermal.
So for the solar panels on CV, I don't think so. I do not actually know the exact reason, but it's also something technical because the solar panels calling a lot of parameters to work, and they are using the latitude, longitude, and sun, whatever. Not sure if we could make this work for CVs as well because they update quite frequently. Maybe a bit of a performance concern then. What the second question? What was second? Sorry.
Staying in the vein of power generation,
okay.
will there be any other power sources like geothermal?
Yeah, we're planning to do this, but this will be done when we rework the energy system in general. So now we added, for example, the generators get damaged when they are over capacity or so. And we already thought when we added this that so like a management option, so you can shut down stuff when you're close to a certain level or so. And I think when we approach this in a more global context, also adding different types of generators, so we add new ways of generating energy like geothermal or fusion or whatever. So this would be, I think this will be one topic, made all around this side topics then.
Wind, geothermal would be cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah. Are you guys planning on adding any aquatic life and the ability to go fishing?
Fishing?
If you can go fishing.
I'm not sure if we will add the ability to go fishing, but aquatic life, yes. So this is one of the next topics, I think, for AI to bring them live to the underwater world.
I think you should add fishing. I think you should.
Yeah.
I mean, we need something to do while our constructors are busy, or while we're waiting for the factory to do something. You pop down the local lake and see if you can pick up some red snapper or something. That'd be great.
There's a WoW throwback.
Yeah.
Planet poles. Is there any plans to rework the polls so that they're maybe less laggy and also maybe be able to build near the
The planet polls, so this all results from how planets are done. So it's basically wrapped around a sphere or so, and this comes with certain constraints. So planned, yes, we plan a lot of things as rework of the planet tech is always a topic. It's not a topic of the foreseeable future, but when we take on this topic next or in the future, this might lead to creating a whole new planet tech, and maybe this is a real big topic then. So on the foreseeable future, I do not think there will be any change, but it's a big topic we are pretty much aware of. So as well. So what we need to do is then to recreate a lot of stuff, and so this is not something we do in between versions.
Right, and then Ender424 wants to know, will players or factions be able to own a piece of space and be on the map to show up as a faction on the map?
With territory.
Territory, yeah.
This could be a thinkable expansion of this, yes. So it's not directly planned, but yes, this is something we already had on the discussion list. So owning a planet sector or so, yes.
All right, and then Matt Corey wants to know, when is Elion finally just going to outright hire Jay Randall to build for them?
I need to ask him.
Yeah, and they already.
On the topic of Jay Randall's new faction you're putting into the game, will there be base attacks from the new factions? Like,
yes, and but I think not in the initial release. The factions and the base attacks are a bit separate, so it's like although the space attacks need to be set up differently, so it does not work right out of the box. But we plan to add more base attacks from different factions. So when we take on this base attack idea, so we want to have something special. So not all base attacks are the same. So the Sirens have their drones and troop transports, the Talon have their natives, the shamans and so on. And so we try to find other stuff which might be a bit unique for the faction we'll let attack. And this is to be found out. Maybe the faction itself needs to evolve a little bit, so we find out what makes it really unique in terms of what it does. Maybe it's a bit story writing, maybe it's a development of assets. But I'm confident that in the future we'll see more base attacks from different races or different nations or different species or whatever the players or we add.
all right, staying in the vein of base attacks, Jason Craven asks, will you be able to link weapons and shields to the base radar and be able to automatically activate defenses when it detects base attack? Although I think the automated turrets should do that already. Is that not?
They should attack. So of course, if you switch your stuff off, it's off. There's currently no link you could activate it with via base attack, I think. But it's an interesting idea, yeah. So
I think maybe I know from my experiences, like the turrets take a few moments to kind of react to the base attack, and the attack's already in progress. So maybe if you have a radar on your base, the turrets are alerted prior to the attack happening.
Yeah, because there is that sometimes an annoyingly long delay between the turrets waking up and realizing that they have stuff to shoot.
This depends a bit on where the forces spawn, yes. We are aware of that. This is, I think, more of a handling of the AI targeting, not so much a thing of having a radar and announcing the attack early on or so.
Right, and then a couple of questions about salvaging. Payback 201 and Matt Corey have both asked if we can have better salvaging system. Matt specifically asked if there's something like a repair bubble or area of effect that we can do for salvaging. So you start a salvage in a specific area and it salvages everything in that area.
Like the repair
area
bit.
effect.
Yeah.
Like a bit like what we have with the drills, also that you can deconstruct not block by block, but an area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remind that this has been in discussion as well, but has not yet been done. I'm not sure if it is possible for the blocks similar to what we do with the drilling. But yes, I would applaud this as well, because salvaging block by block is it's a time-consuming task, and also in the same pattern falls like reverse repair bay, where you could deconstruct full vessel. So maybe we can add this at a time when we take on the shipyard stuff, because functionalities might be then in there as well.
Right. I'm not entirely sure this has already been covered, so I'm going to ask this because I wasn't watching the actual stream at the time of this. But Neil Rowe asks if the scanner and the weapons, I think this is for ships, if the scanner and the weapons can be used at the same time. Do you need to trigger the scan on the CV?
Yes, but there's a difference. You have kind of an auto detection area. So like you need a detector to detect or to scan for stuff that is very far away. So we have seen this when we started with a scenario here. Then when you have your hand scanner, and this is similar or it's the same for the vessels, you have a certain range, like a maximum range of like 1,200 meters for the hand scanner or 24,000 for the capsule vessel. So in this area, you discover or you detect something, you scan something, and then there's an auto discovery range. So if you're in range of something, you will automatically see this. So for instance, if you point your crosshair near a POI or so, you will see this without having to trigger the scanner all the time. And so you do not need constantly to pull the trigger on the detector to see it. So moving the crosshair close to it will also reveal something that you already discovered.
Nice. All right. Then next one is another question about more animals. Will there be any flying predators or any flying
oh god,
animals?
yeah. That'd be great.
We talked about this, I think, 4 weeks ago, or so 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure. Yes, this is very on top on my personal wish list as well. Same as underwater life. As soon as we have time for this, we should go into this. Yes, space whales. Yes.
Space whales.
Flying spiders that land on your face and then they just like eat you from your face inwards, and you've got to stab them off of your face, like until they go away, and then
It's going to be hard since we don't have knives.
Anyone, we need knives. Alpha 13, yeah.
With all these NPCs and models and additions, we try to add these when we have more time. So if the initial Alpha 12 or so is done, we'll sit down and see what we can add, and possibly it's also a bit of coding involved, new AI routines or so, behavior and so on. So it's not only adding a new model or so.
You know, the game has great potential for horror. It already has some pretty horrible POIs and setups that have made me jump out my bloody chair, much to the delight of you lot. Is there any plans to sort of build on that and increase the potential for horror, even if it's just for scenario creators and builders?
in which context? So because as you said, we have a few scenario builders that are quite capable to scare the hell out of you already. So
yeah, well, I suppose it's more creatures, better sound effects, more atmosphere, maybe.
Yes, sound might be a topic also for Alpha 13. So I hope to bring this on the table with dynamic sound, and I hope we're getting a little new track for Alpha 12 maybe already, because the legacy is no kind of official faction. They were already, but now they have their own territory and their own ships and even own playfields. Maybe we'll add a bit more sound for them as well. And sound effects are mostly also topic for discussion. Yeah. So as a general, yes. So and I will push for more horror effects in. So
yes.
We had a question about being able to turn down the sounds of the turrets to make the turrets softer.
Not just the turrets. Can I also expand that to the shutter doors, please?
Yeah, it's more feedback. Yes. Look into this.
I like that I just heard the sound of a clicky top pen. That's a good idea. Load that down.
On the new transporters, the chat was asking, will players be able to craft them, and how much power do they need on both ends?
So first, yes, we will be able to craft both the base teleporter and the capital vessel teleporter. And energy in, I think it's around 12,000 for the base teleporter currently, and 6,000 for the capital vessel. So around this, it's currently set up.
All right, great. And next one here is where did it go now? Sorry,
Sorry, mate.
I bumped the thing. I'm looking for this question. Oh yeah, the multi-tool. Is there any chance of the multi-tool getting a downgrade option?
Ooh. Clicky top.
Shouldn't it? It should already have a downgrade option.
I know you can upgrade with the multi-tool. I didn't realize you could downgrade with it.
Hang on.
I think we have a downgrade option as well.
Let me grab a multi-tool real quick.
Only the survival tool does not have one.
Upgrade, downgrade, downgrade confirmed.
Downgrade, yes.
There we go.
Already added.
Yeah. Well done, Alien. Good work.
Live added.
Now this is what we like to see. You're getting ahead of it. We anticipated your needs. We anticipated your questions. Very good.
The Big Brzezinski asks, is a merchant or tycoon playstyle based around trading with NPCs something you'd like to make part of Empyrion? Sort of expanding the trading with Polaris and hopefully other factions as well.
Yeah, this is actually what we have a little bit in mind. When I said a few hours ago, earlier, that we plan to make more use of what means to earn credit, or how this trading with commodity items works. So this tycoon gameplay is it's already a thought from us. So yes, we would like to expand a bit more in this direction as well, because the whole trade is a bit underdeveloped currently, but it's now coming more into the focus of the game creation itself. So yes.
Would that include an overall of the loot tables to balance the value of items?
Yes, basically. So if we approach this, yes, it would be a big rework, and of maybe even of the templates or how to craft certain items will be changed then, because the resources you invest for a certain item will represent a certain value then, and we're not sure how to exactly calculate all this stuff. But first, the idea was at least to have this calculated dynamically. So if you have a certain item, it's made of certain materials, it has a certain value in terms of credits. and it's based on how common certain ores are on the planet you are currently are, or the trader is. And so you could run trading route from one side where maybe ore is cheap to a factory where it needs ore, where you could get a good price because there maybe the ore you're transporting is scarce. So this is a goal, a long-term goal currently, and yes, we would absolutely want to go to that direction. And this would encompass all the rework of the traders and the commodity items and so on and so on.
All right. And maybe in line with trading, Escalid asks, how will the solar systems be different to each other? And what impetus do I have to leave the system that I start?
Currently, the solar system we have, let's say, we have different types of suns, and each sun has a different creation rule to it. So at least this is planned. Currently, we have a few. We'll add more to these. So what you can find in the solar system in the current stage will be different. You do not have everything in the starter system anymore. So the content we actually have is a bit spread out. What we plan for the future is, of course, for example, to add more playfield types, to add a lot more POIs to discover. With this will come new items, as I said earlier, new materials, and so on and so on. Currently, the initial Alpha 12 release will prepare all these. So it will give a lot of configuration options. It will prepare the technical basis, everything works, and then the content will come. So, but now we need to make sure that the stuff we have works in the new environment, and this is a Galaxy itself. So next step is then, with your help possibly, with all the POI and stuff to fill this in.
All right, cool. And then a couple more questions about the reinforcements. The capital ships that come in for reinforcements, will we be able to disable and capture those ships?
These ships work the same like a freighter, so you can disable them, but you can not yet use them. So you cannot use them to fly around with them. I think they even have self-destruction mode still.
And then a question about the ability of a player to handle large reinforcement groups. They're asking about being able to control several CVs at once, like giving another CV
fleet
AI
fleet commands,
fleet control.
Fleet command, yes. This would be great. So if we can add this, I would be happy. Currently, there are no plans that I know of. But this is still on my feature request list. So these whatever 400 items or so I have, I can pretty much remember it is because this is something I also have requested quite a while ago.
All right.
Has the sorry to jump in. Has the Elion team been expanded recently?
No.
No. Is it still about 14 guys, or is it?
So we're 7.
7. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're 7, but it looks like you do the work of 14. That's a compliment.
Yeah. Lots of overtime and yes.
Yeah. I hope not too much.
Resurgam79 asks if you'll be able to use more of the CV weapons in Atmosphere to help you as a single player against reinforcements on the planet. So letting a CV hover above the base that you're attacking.
Possibly this will be then topic. We're planning to rebalance the turrets and the AI and weapon. We've done a little bit on this already for Alpha 12 for the experimental, but not to a full extent. And the problems with the CV weapons always was because they're very strong, and the CV can move, the base cannot move. So we'll need to find a little bit of way around. So capitals are slightly less efficient on planets, or not efficient. They are not so strong compared to base values, but we aim to add new weapon types for bases, for example, EMP swiper, so where you can combat a moving target like capital vessel easier, because if we add all weapons for a CV to the planet currently, bases will still be dead meat or so. So there
everything would.
Yes, everything would. So it's not a good balance currently, and until this changes, as I said, with planned weapons rework and rebalancing, I think we can come to this point where we have all CV weapons on planet again.
To add to that, maybe expand on that. You guys did say you wanted to look at making more specialization in the way things are built. Maybe think of a way to get around having to balance your weapons to create planetary turrets for CVs, which are weaker, more in line with like an HV turret, maybe just a little bit more powerful than an HV turret, that you can put on your CV. It only works in atmosphere, doesn't work in space.
Yeah, but this feels a bit like workaround because it's basically the same as not allow CV weapons because they're too strong. I would personally favor a way that it makes sense to have like rock, paper, scissors style. So you have a base and you have mighty CV, but the base can still pick you out of the sky if it's well designed. And currently this is not possible because the type of weapons for bases and capital vessels are quite similar, or they're quite identical except the damage values. And I think we need to add a few more specialized weapons to the base, which are strong enough to threaten even a combat-ready capital vessel, but not too strong compare for HVs than or SVs. So it's a bit a trick to find here, but I think with a few more weapon times, with which then are exclusive to bases, I think we'll find a possibility there.
Something like a tractor turret or something that can pull things flying over it down.
Kind of like a capsule vessel, cruise missile or whatever, which you can only reasonably shoot on a capsule vessel because everything else is too fast, or something like this. So I think it's more on the bases to specialize, and not to give the capsule vessels more weapons because they cannot use all their weapons on the planet.
Spanj, use your drone to mine, don't dig yourself a grave. That's just boring.
Coming to blocks and logistics, a couple of questions here. Have there been any new blocks textures added to the game?
No, you mean for the texture tool? No.
And any new block shapes?
Not yet.
They're planned though, but they're pretty low priority, I would imagine.
Yeah, low priority at the moment. We have made a few changes on models. Like we just recently recreated the med bay, the clone chamber, and the O2 station, because they currently were a little bit higher than one block, but waste a lot of space. So we made them that they fit into one large block. So, and we hope this is fitting everyone better than the 1.3 blocks high stuff, which is consuming 2 blocks high. So you should now be able to place them upright and do not need to lay them down and risk then spawning in a vertical state where you are glitched into the block then. So at least this has been the idea.
Are you reapplying that logic to things like the base constructor and large constructor, advanced constructor and deconstructor and things like that as well?
I think the constructors will stay their sizes. It's especially for these medical device for where you can respawn and for the auto station.
Okay.
Because we have seen a lot of POIs when we worked on this emergency respawn, for example, in the training stations, that you often ended up in a medic bay which is lying on the floor, and then you cannot get out of it because you are glitched into it. And so we said, as these blocks are literally a little bit higher than 1 block anyhow. So we said, yeah, why not make it 1 block and fit in a vertical position, so we do not run into this issue anymore, and players will save more space this way and have less problems placing these devices.
Okay.
So, just to make sure I understand that correctly, you won't be able to rotate those blocks anymore into the horizontal?
You can rotate, but you do not need to rotate them because they are no 1 block by 1 block by 1 block. So it's only everything fits in 1 block size or 1 large block.
Oh, right, okay.
So we are not currently they're 2 blocks high, but the model is not 2 blocks high. It's like 1.3 or 1.4 or so.
Yeah.
And yeah.
All right, cool. And then just where's that question gone?
Don't mind me.
Sorry, I've lost it.
That's all right.
I'll find it.
I'm just mining away. Well, I mean, on the topic of mining, while Johnny's checking for a question, you know, if you're watching the stream right now, what I'm doing right now is fairly boring. I could be using my drone, but we discussed it a bit on the last Q&A a little bit, was the auto mining and stuff like that, and you were looking at possibly adding a base device as an auto miner. Is that still on?
Still to be discussed, or
still to be
a
discussed.
little bit like this.
Yeah.
What we said is currently we or let it put it like this: the auto miner as a convenience device. We went for this device or this model because we had a quite small play field in terms of we had only a few planets at that time, and you could easily fill up the spaces, especially in multiplayer. Currently, the situation has changed. We have so many planets, and though that's the risk of running into a lockdown space, so it's much less probable. So we have not yet discussed this, but I personally think, it's much more likely that we can add auto miner made into in a base, or building a base or mining base in a way that this mining base returns more from the mining operation or constant stream of mine than compared to the auto miner. Or maybe the auto miner will vanish and we have the mining base instead. So I'm not sure about this. This
Right.
is still discussed, but the possibilities are basically there now.
Just a reminder to the chat, I'm not monitoring the chat at the moment, so if you guys are asking questions, I won't necessarily see it.
Yeah, we've only got
a really big sheet of questions that we need to try and get through.
Yeah, we've only got about 10 minutes left, guys, so it's probably not going to get through.
There's a couple more questions about blocks, and that is heavy windows on SVs, and will there be any blocks that are interchangeable between HVs and SVs, or CVs and bases? Like I'm thinking the question probably means more like components, like
furnaces,
medical devices, furnaces, deconstructors.
For the HVs and SVs.
They want turrets on SVs, I think, isn't it? That's what it's getting at.
And heavy windows on SVs.
Yeah. Heavy windows on SVs would actually be really cool.
Heavy windows, I'm not sure if this works. This is something we need to investigate. Currently, it's not a priority, to be honest, because the the heavy windows are basically are pretty much designed in their design to fit base shapes. So and I'm not sure if they would work for SVs and HVs, who possibly might need a lot more edges and transfer blocks and so on. Maybe it's not ruled out, so I cannot say at the moment. So same as for the other devices, we'll stick to the lineup and the separation. What you do with it, with the config, it's up to the players.
All right, and then let's see here. There was one last question I had on blocks and stuff like that. I know we answered that in the chat already. There's no logistics yet between like water generators.
No, terrain placeables and bases.
Yeah.
So this is, as I said, something we need to find out how to do it properly, and then this will be added, I think. So leading up to, I think, full automatization from the deposit to the outbox of the constructor.
All right, and then lastly, a couple of miscellaneous questions. Is there, Eli Jones asks, is there any chance of getting a target lock for your HUD to be able to lock onto a target and track it?
If question, is there a chance? Possibly it's doable, but currently not on the roadmap, I say.
And then Stubert asks, will it be easier to get T3 and T4 extenders? Are the parts going to be more readily available? Is there a better drop?
I did not change this, or we did not change this lately, so need to look in the feedback. Not sure, he might. Yeah, it boils down to the loops, the drop chance. Could be changed, of course, but I do not plan, or it's no plan to do this currently.
You can build these things though now, can't you?
Yeah, you can build these.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I mean is yeah.
Okay.
You will be able to change a lot with the new configs.
All right. So if you don't like the cost or the drop rate, you can edit.
You can create even new drop tables and so on.
Oh,
so
we can edit the drop tables?
Yeah, so loot table, loot containers, this is all in the no configs.
Nice.
Epic drills for everyone.
So currently it's also kind of in the custom config, but you cannot create really new stuff, and this will change them.
Yeah. Will NPCs have more dialogue?
You will be able to add heaps of dialogues to the NPCs, so you can add as much dialogues as you can ever read to NPCs. So it's boiling down how you set up your scenario. So what's Spanj playing currently? We have currently an example on the start. This is only an inferior example because it's quite straightforward.
I thought I was playing quite well.
Yes, but it's quite simple.
It's inferior.
But in the scenario played at the start, though, the defenders and invaders and defenders, there's quite a lot of dialogue. So there's, for example, you set up an NPC and you go to him and he asks you for something, and he will send you right away if you do not have the right reputation or you do not have the right item in your pockets.
There's something
and if you do have, he can give you another stuff. So the new dialogue system is incredibly powerful, and not only what you can do in terms of transporting or telling a story, with the player having the choice of different options. Like I think you can set up to 7 different player response options to one conversation, but you can also move this discussion back and forth. And I'm very excited to see what players are doing with this, because as I said, in conjunction with the PDA, there's real deep configuration and storytelling possibilities. So this is something which I'm personally looking very much forward to.
Right. 2 questions about starting the game. Me asks, when will we be able to pick a race or faction like the Talon, Xerax, or Polaris and play as one of them?
Currently not, but we talked about this quite 2 days ago. Also, if it wouldn't be a cool idea, it's a bit problematic in terms of the backstory of the game. But yeah, never say never, right? Maybe at one point when we develop this NPC faction system a bit more, like maybe you can work for an NPC faction or conquer territory for them or so. Maybe at that point it would also be an idea to say I'm not starting for the UTAs or the whatever, so I'm starting my ranks into the Polaris or maybe even Syrax or so. Yeah.
Maybe have the ability to choose a Polaris or Xerox player model as well.
Yes. So one thing is, of course, making a choice at the game start. This is like choosing a faction or so. This is, of course, possible, and also in game then working for a faction or so is also, I think, possible. It's not currently on the list, but yeah, it's an interesting choice to make. Yes. So personally would be happy to see something like this in both ways.
All right, and then the respawn at current location. Joe Moran 73 asks, is it possible to make that a game or server option? In other words, specifying a specific spawn point, respawn point.
We can consider this. I have this still on my discussion list. Yes, it's not made a decision about this yet, but I have several requests on this to say that to make this to remove or better to adjust the respawn menu and maybe make this option optional, at least for servers. Yeah, it's in consideration but not yet decided.
All right. There's still quite a few questions on my list, but I can always send those to you guys. I think we should stop here and give you guys a chance to finish off.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Johnny, for doing that. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. So as I said, guys, please come to our forum. You are always free to post your questions there, and we'll look into these and answer as much as we can.
Oh,
and
fuck.
A lot will be revealed then with experimental as well.
Broke it.
What did you do that?
Wow. The game broke me, actually. I just fell through the terrain. Ah, just did it again.
Oh.
That's fine. This rain kept despawning on me.
You find a void.
I find them all. I find them all. All the bugs. They find me.
For chat, if I didn't get to your question, then I will be forwarding it on to the dev team, and they may be able to answer you in their forums, or however they decide to respond to that. So please go and join the forums and be part of the community there.
Yeah.
Yes. That would be great.
There is a link. I've just posted that in the chat. Yeah, I mean, Hummel in particular monitors the forums every day and is very responsive. So
we've also tell in on the Discord and so on. So at one point we will try to answer your question if we can.
Yeah. But I think that is going to be, well, that's going to be all the questions we're going to have time for today, guys. We're rapidly heading towards 10 o'clock. But yeah, just to recap, Alpha 12 will be available in the experimental branch at some point this week. So hopefully Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, depending on how they can fix my bugs that I keep finding. But obviously, you know, this is experimental. So ultimately, it's for feedback, testing, and stuff like that.
Yes, absolutely. There are so many new feature and mechanics in there that we rely on anyone's feedback. Yeah.
There you go. There was a point about the experimental servers as well. So you guys are going to keep the experimental servers to yourselves for the time being?
You won't give them away.
You won't give them away.
No, the idea is that as I wrote, or for those that do not have read the announcement on Steam and the forum, it's like because we changed a lot in the back end. So like we added a new database, which is now a pure point of most or a lot of features. We have to deeply or closely monitor how this database behaves, and especially in multiplayer. So we chose that in the first week of the experimental release, and really only the first week, maybe it's only days, we will only have our own experimental server opened for multiplayer. So we have, of course, the single player will be released as usually, so you can play single player from day one. You cannot only play multiplayer. That's something I've read already. So we have the single player, the co-op will be released on day one, but you will not have dedicated servers on day one. And we invite everyone to our experimental release server for the stress test, for the database test, and we'll pull a lot of logs and files directly. And as soon as we see that the database works, we will switch the flip, and then we will release the experimental dedicated server as well. So it's only a timely manner, maybe a week if everything goes accordingly. If everything goes well, it may be only a few days, and so on. So this is maybe a bit of a difference to the previous releases, because we added this database in the background, which is an entirely new thing in terms of how we process the features and the data related to them.
There we go. I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty sensible. I don't think you're going to get much resistance from that, to be honest. For those of you interested as well, I will be doing a Project Eden server, private server, but it will be available to patron supporters of mine at Twitch subs as well, just to keep the numbers down, basically. And obviously, private servers do cost money to run. So, as an extra thank you to the supporters of mine that go the extra mile in helping me out, I will be offering a multiplayer server to them that I will actually be running my Let's Play from when Alpha 12 does go into release. So this will be after experimental. For the experimental versions, I will be doing a little mini Let's Play, but don't get too attached to it, because I suspect, Hummel will correct me if I'm wrong, but there's going to be quite a few experimental releases that will probably require restarts of save games.
This is quite to be expected, yes.
Yeah, so
it's experimental after all.
Exactly. So we'll be doing a mini Let's Play, but it will probably stop and start and chop and change a fair bit. But the main Let's Play will be on the full release version, and that's all to come. That's all to come. It's going to be. I think it's going to be a really good one this time. Anyway, I think that's it, guys. Anything to add?
See you soon, and everyone hopefully has fun with Alpha 12 experimental.
I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there will be.
I'm looking forward to it.
Sure, there'll be many exclamations of pain as well. We still can't crouch, guys. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us today, guys. I really appreciate you popping in on the stream and checking out Alpha 12 with us. Thank you very much to Hummel and Talion as well for joining me today. And big fat thank you to Johnny for fielding all the questions and going through all the questions there. I really appreciate that, Johnny. Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
I hope you all look after yourselves. Stay safe out there. It's a crazy world. Be well, be safe. I'll see you very soon over on YouTube or for the next Chill in the Building, whatever comes first. Thank you again. Take care. Good night. Goodbye. You guys can say goodbye as well if you like.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Cheers, guys. Bye.